All right, guys, welcome back. Captain Kuba here. Oh boy, we got a lot to talk about here. I will say though, this is supposed to be a members only live stream, but I usually have like 20 minutes dedicated for people who also are not members, because I also want them to be part of the conversation, you know. So instead of doing it at the last part of the last 20 minutes of the stream, I'm gonna do it before. Not before, like starting the stream. So I get the timer here. This is your Tartarus countdown for those of you who have not become members. Because why haven't you become a member, huh? Don't you love me enough? Don't you want to give me your hard-earned money? It's okay if you don't. If you guys you don't, if you want to just do the 20 minutes, that's totally fine. But I do have like members only to like kind of give it to give the perks to the people who support the channel. You know, I love these guys as well. You know, so I gotta give them something good. And one-on-one with the Cuban boy, the Cuban boy. This sounds wrong. It's the best I can do. You know, the least I can do, I should say. But we do have a lot to talk about. Because this has been. I don't think we're ever gonna get something like this ever again in the God of War community. Like I don't know what happened. The stars, the constellations have aligned, and we've had the most insane month for the God of War community. Just like news after news, just nothing but that. It's been completely insane. So first of all, I want to get how are you guys feeling about all this? I haven't had time to process all of this. I haven't had time. Don't worry about it. Anyway, I sent you some theories on Discord. Well, I mean, you can tell I'm here. Like I haven't really checked Discord in a while, and I'm not really thinking of doing it today. I only check Discord on live streams if someone tells me that they found something in the game, you know, aka Morse. If he's found something and there's something tangible. But if it's just theory crafting, we can just do it here, you know. God of War pipeline is so full, like it's about to burst. It's insane, bro. I can't keep up with it. I just can't keep up with it, you know. Do you want the Fae game? I really hope we get one. Oof, man, the Fae game. This is such an interesting topic because I understand why the community is so divisive right now on it. I am on the side of being, how do I say it? I'm cautiously optimistic about it because there's things that, there's things that I really like. But then there's other thing that I have this. I'm having trouble coming up with my words about this, but there's like an underlying slight anger on my part because I know that Corey told me in my interview that he didn't want to spend 15 years working on a trilogy, telling the same story or something like that. And this is what he's been working on. Just a prequel story to the Norse trilogy, what was supposed to be the Norse trilogy. And it's like, so that's only raising my expectations for the Fae game, because this Fae game had to be so fucking important. It had to be so fucking huge, so fucking important that the trilogy became a duology instead. And I'm like, this has to be the greatest game ever. Why did I would think that the trilogy would be more important, you know? But instead they've been working on this since 2019. So it's like it has to be. My expectations for this game are through the roof right now, you know? But on the other side, I'm not one of those people that say that this doesn't make any sense or anything like that, because unlike other companies that have made a sequel or a prequel with another random character, this one is not the same. This is not a random character. Fae is very pivotal to the events of the Norse games, and we saw that in that interview with IGN that Corey has been working on this thing since 2018 shipped pretty much, you know. So it's not something that they just came up with on the spot. This is something that's part of his plan. But man, like, what is this Fae game going to be about? You know, that's really what I'm thinking about right now, because why would you make it a duology instead of a trilogy to work on this game? How big is this game, you know? Fae was tracking us in 2018. Horn will be answered. I'm kind of leaning towards that direction. We got to talk about the story. And again, I don't even know when I'm gonna get around to making this video, because I'm working on a video right now. It's about Sons of Sparta, like 10 lore details that you might have missed. You guys probably caught it, but this is more like for like the newbies who just picked up the game and don't know anything about God of War, you know. So I'm working on that video, and in that video at the end, I'm like, yeah, Sons of Sparta content is gonna be a little bit spotty because I'm working on this huge Athena video. And I said that before we had the leak about the Atreus spin-off game and the Faye spin-off game as well. Like, so much has happened since I wrote that video that it's like even the Athena video has been pushed like further back, because I think after I'm done working with this Sons of Sparta video, I have to make the Faye video. Then I have to make probably the review for Sons of Sparta, and then I'll circle back to making that Athena video about the discovery that Morse made, and then I have to talk about the remakes. There's so much to talk about. But what I was saying is like, Irfam said, Faye was tracking us in 2018. Horn will be answered. I think there's going to be an element about that. There's something about the story of the Faye game that I think people are getting slightly wrong. They're just seeing it as only being a prequel. But there's some evidence, some things that tell us that it's not going to be a prequel in the same sense that Chains of Olympus or Ghost of Sparta was, you know, fully in the past. The Norse Saga has some time shenanigans element to it, you know, and I have a suspicion that Faye might be time traveling into the future. That's all I'm gonna say for now. We'll get into it. I'm sure I'm gonna spoil it. I always spoil my theories anyway, you know. Luke said, I'm conflicted with the Faye game, bro. Yeah, I mean, yeah, we talked about just that now. Can't speak. Been 5 months, man. Time flies. Thank you so much, God of War speedruns and memes. Thank you, bro. Thank you for the 5 months. Hey, 69 months. Maybe Luke, you wanted to do it. 69, baby. Hold on. It's not letting me send it here, LOL. It's too many letters or something. What is? Oh, the theory? Well, you can, I mean, if you want, I can read the Discord, your Discord later on, like not on the stream, but after I'm done with it, because again, I'm doing too many things right now. The Faye game is the missing piece. So hyped. Yeah, I'm of the opinion that the Horn mystery is going to be answered on the Faye game. You know, this whole time I thought that it was Kratos and Atreus time traveling. I think it's going to be Faye. And you know what? Let me just get into it as to why I think it is. I don't care. You know, people. I'm in a position that I'm lucky enough that I can spoil my theories on my live streams, then make a video about it, and nothing really bad happens, like in terms of like losing views or anything like that. Or if I do, I don't care because I'm so hyped about it. Okay. Here's the thing. There's that clip of God of War of Cory Barlog talking about this prequel game. Like he's like, yeah, I have this prequel plan. I talked about it in my prequel video, the one that's the thing about God of War Egypt that no one notices or something, the one that really blew up. I forgot the name of it, right? But I have that clip in that video if you want to watch it. So it's Cory talking about this game, this story that he wants to tell about the events before God of War 2018, and he's talking about Faye, how much he was in control and all that. But it also, in that same context, he mentions Kratos. He's like, yeah, I want to tell the story of how Faye came to know Kratos or something like that, right? So we have it right here. The Norse timeline is huge, man. I got some super chats that I gotta read, but give me a sec, bro. You know, the chat is kind of frozen, so the Norse timeline is huge, man. God damn it, where is it? I'm gonna have to like ear dog my fucking thing. Look at this thing. This is where it starts. 200 years before the events of 2018, right? It just keeps on going. It's not until yeah, 113 years before the events of 2018 that Kratos arrives in the Norse lands, okay? But are you telling me that Santa Monica is going to skip all this juicy part? All of this here, you know? What's the part? Yeah, check this out. Odin is jealous of all the love Tyr is getting in the realms, plus he suspects correctly that Tyr helped the giants hide the Jotunheim realm tower. Odin sends a bunch of monsters and Aesir gods to attack Tyr's temple in the Lake of Nine. Tyr disappears without a trace. That's like a mini Ragnarok battle right there. You think Santa Monica is not gonna do anything like that? You think they're not gonna do anything about, you know, Thor's bloody campaign against the giants? All of it's too juicy, bro. It's too juicy. But he's talking about events that happened hundreds of years later. Faye meeting Kratos, right? And it's like, I think in this Faye game, Faye is going to be time traveling. She is going to be that missing element that we didn't have in God of War Ragnarok. She's gonna be it. And in fact, in God of War Ragnarok, it gets kind of teased that there's something about Faye that we're not seeing. It just makes sense, bro. It just makes sense. It just makes fucking sense. In the ending of God of War Ragnarok, when they leave Asgard, Atreus gets knocked down or something, right? And what happens? He sees a vision. He sees a vision of Faye telling him, "Don't worry, my son. I'm gonna be here with you," or something like that. And it's like, that's not really a dream. That really seems like Faye is talking to him. But Faye's supposed to be dead. I think that's Faye from the past somehow. It's like, all of these things, bro. All of these things are just lining up. I think Faye is going to be time traveling in the Faye prequel game, you know? Let me see. Eric had a lot of coordination with Corey. I'm hyped. Yeah, there's stuff that I think in Ragnarok is going to make a lot of sense, you know? To be honest, I have expectations with the Faye game since we know she and Kratos fought the first time they met. Could we potentially get Kratos as a boss fight? That's the thing. The other thing is that, speaking about that, is that Santa Monica, well, the rumors say that Santa Monica is going to make this into a franchise of its own. So I don't think everything is going to get answered right away, which is why I think it just makes sense. I think Chronicler was talking about it in his live stream where he's like, there's going to be some time skips. And I think the way they're going to do the time skips is going to be through time travel. Like in the game, in the multiple games, like Faye's going to be jumping back and forth. It's going to get confusing, I'm sure. But I'm sure like there's going to be time jumps and all that kind of stuff. And there will eventually probably be a Kratos boss fight. Although the description does say that they stopped fighting just as soon as they began to fight or something like that. So it makes it sound like the fight didn't last that long. But then again, I don't know. I feel like that's something that can be slightly retcon and make an interesting boss fight. We've never actually fought Kratos as a boss fight. That would be so interesting. That would be so interesting if it actually happens, you know? Let's see. It's making too much sense now. She can speak to the serpent, so she blew the horn. She can see into the future and possibly time travel. Exactly. I'm not worried about Faye not being an interesting character per se. I mean, I didn't really like the portrayal she had in Ragnarok that much. She came across as just being kind of mean. I don't know, mean in a, I hate to say, kind of in a bitchy way. Like I don't like you, Faye. But you know, like plot wise, I think there's a lot of potential there. Like she's a very pivotal piece in the Norse saga, and I think her character could work if done properly. So I'm not worried about that. I think Corey, and that's the thing, bro. That's the thing. Corey is at the helm, bro. Corey is directing this beast, and look, I have my issues with the God of War series at how it is right now, but Corey's the dude, man. Corey, when it comes to at least to the story part, Corey is the dude, and Corey we trust, okay? And if he wanted to make this Faye game instead of a trilogy, there's a reason for it. There's a reason for it that we're not seeing, man. We're just not seeing. I'm so happy, man. Greek games coming back. The Faye game with all the Norse stuff. We eating good. It's insane, bro. I haven't had a chance to talk about the Greek remakes yet, because that's another thing. What are they going to change in those things? I kind of, when I heard the news, I was kind of disappointed, because I'm like, they're gonna change some things. But now I'm leaning more towards like, I'm okay if they make some slight changes, as long as this main story remains the same. So yeah, there's so much to talk about. There's so much to talk about, man. It's insane. Oh shit! King Scorp sent 10 Captain Kuba memberships. Thank you, bro. Appreciate it. Look at that, man. Look at that. 10 people have been released from Tartarus, all thanks to King Scorp right here, you know? All right. Cumrun says, apparently it's going to play like Bayonetta. All right. Woo! Woo! Time out. Okay, time out, because that is the one thing that I'm going to try my best to lower your expectations on. Okay, it's one thing to be for me to be excited about the story and what this could mean for the plot of the Norse saga and all that. It's another thing. I think the insiders are being a little bit misleading right now when they say that it's going to play like Bayonetta. Okay, I can probably see there being a jump button. Okay, I can probably see there being a jump button. I can probably see being more combo focused, and all of those things are going to be welcome. But look, even before this rumor came out, I bought DMC3 on my Switch. Okay, because it was on sale. It was like $14. I'm like, I'm just gonna get DMC3, and I think there's more to DMC and old school God of War games than just super fast combat and a jump button. It's also the pacing of it, okay? And I don't think you should go into this game expecting that it's going to be exactly like the old school God of War games. And by the way, when they say that the game is going to be more like DMC, they're probably being stupid again and thinking that, oh yeah, old school God of War game is just like DMC. It's like these people, yeah, they're similar in the sense that they're both hack and slashers, but DMC and OG God of War are more like cousins than actual clones of themselves. Like they're different things. So I think it's going to be more like original God of War. Don't even think about the camera. The camera's not coming back. That's done. We're never gonna get the fixed camera again. RIP. Okay. But I think what I'm trying to lower your expectations on is in thinking that this is going to be a linear experience like OG God of War games. You know, there's probably going to be exploration. There's probably going to be RPG mechanics. And I hate to say it, I hope this is not the case because I'm kind of fed up with it. But I have a feeling that there's going to be an AI companion, okay? And I know this because Santa Monica these days is really focused on character growth and narrative, and you can't really have those things the way they want it without having someone to constantly be talking to the main protagonist, you know? I want it to be like a quiet experience like DMC3 or G God of War games where the plot itself is interesting, but the main experience is just a quiet, just you in the game. But I keep getting hot and cold. I can't make up my mind. I keep having to turn on and turn off my thing. So I don't think it's going to be a linear experience like OG God of War games, if that's what you're asking, you know. Hold on. Let's see. I'm missing so many things, bro. Corey is that guy. I have full trust in him. Exactly, bro. Exactly, yeah. Also, sorry for sending you a bunch of theories on Discord. I tend to get hyped a lot, and it happens when I smoke, which is every day. What are you smoking, though? Because, I mean, one type of smoke will encourage you to come up with theories and stuff. I know it has happened in the past to me, you know? So the Norse saga isn't over. Of course not, bro. Like, people, look, I have a lot of haters, man. I have a lot of haters, but you gotta give it to me sometimes. You gotta give it to me sometimes where I'm like, guys, there's so many things here. They're not gonna answer. If Cory Barlog is smart, and I know he is when it comes to the story part, you know, if Cory Barlog is smart, he's not gonna answer who blew the horn in the fucking Egypt game. That doesn't make any sense. That is a Norse-centric mystery, you know? Whether it's going to be Kratos, Atreus, or a Fae, it's going to be in the Norse lands. We have so many things left over from Ragnarok that just don't make any sense to be answered in Egypt. There's gonna be more Norse stuff. There's only 2 games compared to what, 6 Greek games? It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make sense, you know? It's okay, bro. Just keep smoking theories. Oh, hey, Geek Artist. What's up, Red? Hi, Mr. Kuba. Camera will be raggy 100%. I don't know if it'll be raggy 100%. It was made during that era, and Corey was very much in love with the no-cut camera and the very close-up camera. So that's what I mean. Like, I think that there's gonna be more. The rumors do say that there's going to be more emphasis on combos in like games like DMC and stuff. But I feel like there's going to be a lot of design choices that remain from the 2018 and Ragnarok era, which I'm not too happy about. Again, this is just like, I'm assuming right now. Like, I'm not expecting this to be like a completely, you know, a completely reinvention of the series, if that's what you're saying. If that's what you're thinking, you know. Let me see. Isn't it? Oh, I missed it. I keep scrolling down and then I miss him, you know. Sorry. Yeah, please keep it linear, not open world. I think it's going to be. What do you think it's taking so long? What do you think it's taking so long? An old school God of War game does not take 6 years, six and a half years to make. It's going to have a lot of exploration. How that's going to look, I don't know, but I think there's going to be a lot of exploration still. You know, it's kind of hard to keep up with all the chat, man. Hello, Kuba. I'm a viewer from Greece, and I've been watching your videos and your streams for some years now. But I was never active chatter, but always wanted to know your opinion on the Greek dub. I've never played it. I've never played it with the Greek dub, but I'm sure it sounds good. You know. Let's see. What if the AI companion is Kratos in the Fae game? Also, I'm not happy about the idea of changes to the Greek games in the remake. I don't know if it's going to be Kratos, because again, I don't think. It's gonna be an interesting twist if from the start Kratos is the companion AI somehow, you know, because here's the thing. See, now you said that it kind of brings up an interesting point. Also, sorry, it's been 20 minutes. You guys gotta go to Tartarus. You guys gotta go to Tartarus. I love you guys. I love you guys, but consider becoming a member. That sounds so bad. Give me a sec. You can still leave comments after the stream ends, you know, but this is a members only thing, you know. So let me go and change that real quick. Let's see. Where is that? Sorry. There we go. Okay, we can have a more calm and reasonable experience now, because like it's too much. It's too many comments and I can't keep up. So there is, let me see. Kratos arrived in the Northlands 113 years before the events of 2018, but Kratos met Faye 40 years before the events of the 40 years before the events of 2018. In that time, it says that between Kratos getting to the Northlands and him meeting Faye, it says that Father arrives in the Northlands for years. He lives alone deep in the woods. He meets many monsters and creatures, but avoids people. You know, and then there's the long winter freezes the realms, which Odin fears to be Fimbulwinter, the frigid 3-year. So that's mean like Kratos is alone in the Northlands for a long time, and we know that in the novel there is a mysterious hooded figure that's responsible for bringing Kratos to Scandinavia. And there's a lot to discuss about that, because Morse made a huge discovery. If Morse hadn't made a discovery of that magnitude, I would probably be saying that it's 100% Fae. But maybe not. Maybe now that after the discovery, we can't say that for sure, you know? So it's going to be interesting if somehow in that time before Kratos officially meets Faye, he is kind of interacting with her, but he doesn't know that it's Faye. What if it's a plot twist like that? I don't know, you know? Also, I'm not happy about the idea of changes to the Greek games to the remakes. I think the story is going to remain the same, but they will kind of add more context to things, you know? For example, like we know from Sons of Sparta now that the last Spartan's name is Theophilus, you know? I think they're gonna make his role a little bit bigger in the remakes. But again, I'm not talking about the remakes yet, because like that's a whole can of worms and I'm not ready to open, you know? Why did the serpent drop us here? Interesting. Yeah, that's always been a question I had. That is like such an interesting thing, you know? All I know is if I see Faye in Ironwood, I might uninstall from PTSD. You might see her there. I'm not gonna lie. You might see her there, because that's the other thing. Like the whole thing with Ironwood and the giants being put into the Souls of Giants. Like I think all of those things are. Excuse me. I think those are things that we might see in the Fae prequel game. You know, what actually happened? What actually led to all that? You know. Let's see. I don't think I've missed anything. Hey Jade, welcome to the Spartan Soldiers, man. Appreciate it. Your cruelty made me a member. My capitalist venture has made me a member. It's working. I appreciate it though. I watched that rage scream he did in Ghost of Sparta, and I hope he does that rage scream like that in the future again. Oh, when he's fighting Thanatos. Yeah, that was such a Dragon Ball Z moment. Yeah, I agree. Let me see. I don't have top. I have get live chat going on. You know. Yeah. Not to mention the blade. Don't leave Kratos at all as his curse. I don't know what you mean, Waleed. I'm sorry. Might want to retype that again. We're indeed following Corey's story. I hope people can let go of that assumption that we're not. Well, here's the thing. There's two ways to look at this, okay? There's the way of being too pessimistic that it's like, oh, nothing's going according to plan. And the other stream is like, everything is exactly how Corey planned from the beginning. And we know that's not the case. We know that's not the case because one of the things we haven't talked about, and again, it happened so fast that we haven't had time to really think about the implications of this, the multiplayer game that Bluepoint Games was working on was the Atreus spin-off game. But like I said in my video, I'm not sure if that was originally the plan. Because if you look at the timeline of Bluepoint Games working with Santa Monica and them deciding to make the Atreus spin-off game, it seems like the reason why that cutscene was taken out of well, I mean, I'm not sure now. I was gonna say the reason the cutscene was taken out of the Ragnarok ending, the one Morse discovered, is because Bluepoint Games was gonna be working on the Atreus game that took him to Greece instead, right? But maybe that's not the case, because I know Morse also found in 2018 files for the beginning of 2018. The beginning of Ragnarok. So if Morse had discovered that when 2018 came out, we would have said, oh my god, this is like a cut ending of 2018. But now we know that it wasn't. It was the beginning of God of War Ragnarok. So it's possible that what we're seeing there is actually the beginning of the Atreus game that would have taken place after his adventure in the Greek land. You get what I'm saying? So it's a lot of things. But the point is, Santa Monica had a plan at one point. At least we know that they were planning on making an Atreus spin-off game that took him to Hades, which is weird, okay? But that was the plan. But that game got canceled. So what exactly are they going to do with the Atreus game right now? How many games are they working on right now? We know they're working on the remakes. We know they're working on the Fae game. And they have to be working on a mainline Kratos game. But is there an Atreus game as well? Atreus is another part of the puzzle that has to be accounted for. And right now it remains unaccounted because we know that Bluepoint Games was working on it, but they're no longer working on it. Also, rip Bluepoint Games, you know. Yeah, it was probably a lost credit scene like the one from 2018. But that's the thing, the one that Morse found in 2018 wasn't, we know now that it wasn't a cutscene for 2018. It was the beginning of Ragnarok, which I have no idea why they write it in. Why is that in the code and in the dialogue? It's weird, you know. Yeah, Atreus fell into Hades. That sounds sus as fuck. Yeah, I don't know why. It was such a weird, you know. I hate to say this because we thought, oh yeah, PlayStation canceled the God of War live service game because of the failure that Concord was. They didn't want to repeat that. But I think, and maybe the game just wasn't coming together along, but I think there's one aspect now that we really have to consider. And that aspect is Atreus, that, you know, the previous experience that God of War fans with Atreus was at the very least divisive, you know. We have to be honest here. All of the Atreus sections are the things that get brought up the most when it comes to the things that people didn't like about Ragnarok the most. So what if PlayStation saw that, like, so they don't like Atreus and we're making a live service game that people don't like? We're doing a live service game that people don't like with a protagonist that people don't like. I think we should cancel this, guys. And just like that, Bluepoint Games is dead. Which, fuck Sony, man. Fuck PlayStation. Anyway, Atreus falling into Hades led him to find Calliope. Elysium is in Hades. Don't shut up, Morse. Shut up, bro. Again, that's the Athena video I'm working on, bro. Like, there's shush, you know, because there's things there. Again, it's so much. I haven't had time to process this, bro. But yeah, I also have a feeling that Calliope might be involved in the future. It's very minimal evidence, but I think it kind of makes sense, you know. Again, I'm gonna have to like unpack that later on. Since the Ragnarok scene had Atreus in Egypt and the Hades game is gone, he may go to Egypt after all. Exactly. Yeah, that's what I noticed after I was talking about it. Was like, maybe what we're seeing is the beginning of the Atreus game. So Atreus in Greece came before the Egyptian game, right? So he had a little adventure in Greece or whatever the reason is, you know, and then he went on to Egypt. But if they are working on it, and I think they have to eventually work on the Atreus game, how far along is that game? When was the Bluepoint game canceled again? It was like last year, I'm pretty sure. If it's being worked on, I think it's in the very early stages right now. There's no way that they have substantial stuff, you know, to show it yet. And that might mean, because again, another thing, god damn it, I haven't even clicked on this article yet. Let's look it up. Let me look it up here real quick. Hold on a sec. Kratos goes to Greece. Rumor? I think it was Tom Henderson said something about that. Yeah, here we go. Gaming Bolt. You're gonna get to see me reading in live action right now. So give me a sec. Live action, I said. You're gonna get that. That's the other thing. The fucking live action. Oh, why is the chat? What? Hold on a second, guys. Oh, I see. Hold on. I see. I think I know what the issue is. Kind of he's gonna kill me for this. Hopefully that's good. Yeah, that's good. It's good enough. Okay, let's see. This is another rumor that came from Tom Henderson, I believe. Okay, a report indicates that the Greece might be the setting once more, thanks to Sons of Sparta and the trilogy remake. And I was like, wait, this is not it. This is not it, right? Yeah, well, previous rumors have indicated the next mainline entry in the God of War franchise will introduce an Egyptian-style curved sword to Kratos' arsenal. A new report indicates that he might also wield a scythe. In a recent episode of the Insider Gaming Weekly podcast, Tom Henderson noted that there is a scythe in the game as well. It's interesting. It's always cool to listen to all of these rumblings and seeing what actually comes to fruition. In another part of the podcast, Henderson also spoke about the setting for the next game. While a curved sword might hint at ancient Egypt, Henderson has noted that the story may actually take place back in Greece instead. From what I understand, there's another mainline God of War game in development. He said, there's a lot of speculation out there that is going to be Egyptian God of War game, but I've got a feeling that it's going back to Greek mythology. To be honest, I messed that up. And now I'm wondering if that's why they're going to remake the original trilogy. So that's what I mean. Like, this is Tom Henderson. This is also like a pretty reliable insider. He's now saying that it's possible that Kratos might be going back to Greece, you know? And again, it ties with that theory that I'm working on, that maybe Calliope is coming back in some way, you know? And in Sons of Sparta, in Sons of Sparta, I forgot exactly how it goes, but Calliope says like, I wish I had a brother. Or something like that. Something along those like, Chronicler, can you give me the quote? I'm sure you remember it. I'm older than you. My memory's shit, okay? What's the quote? I think Calliope says something along the lines of like, I wish I had a brother. I'm like, sorry, hold on. So, I didn't say I'm older than you to pull rank or anything like that. I'm older as in like my memory is failing me right now. But Calliope says something along those lines, you know. Dog, what the fuck is going on in the chat? But this could be the remake? What about the scythe though? What about the scythe? That doesn't make any sense. She said no such things. Did she not? Am I crazy? Does Calliope not say at one point, I wish I had a brother? Or something like that? Am I crazy? You know what? Don't quote me on it. Don't quote me on it, you know? No, she did. I remember. Okay, good. Okay, good. According to Tom Henderson, Kratos will have a scythe. Maybe your Death Reaper theory was right along. It might be too early for that. It might be too... That's more like an end thing, Kratos becoming Death or something. And I don't know. That was like David Jaffe's style of writing, which is darker tone and like kind of more messed up. I don't know if Corey wants to write Kratos into the corner of becoming Death, you know? I remember her saying that in Sons of Sparta. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I forget exactly when she says it. And again, I have to replay Sons of Sparta, but I don't know if I will, because... Let me just say something about Sons of Sparta. The Metacritic score ain't lying, okay? It's a little bit rough, you know? And I'm not talking about a dog. It's a little bit rough, though, you know? Yeah. There's so much God of War going on. Yeah, and I almost kind of want to take like a break and just absorb all of this stuff in, because I need to get like a conspiracy board and see how all of these things tie with each other, because there's so much, bro. There's definitely say step bro, I'm stuck. I can find the video of it. Yeah, okay, sure. If you can find the video on it and link it to me on Discord, I'll go and check it out, you know. Sons of Sparta is slightly above average fair score. That's what I mean. It's not the worst game ever, but man, it could have been a lot better. And this is the part that I think I have to obviously say allegedly, because this has not been out. But again, like if we put the situation with Ghost of Sparta, Sons of Sparta, oof, that's heresy. With Sons of Sparta, okay, and the news of Blue Point Games cancellation, it kind of makes it seem like something else happened behind the scenes that PlayStation is not telling us about. I don't think we're getting the full story of how Sons of Sparta came into being. I think there's more to it that had to do with the cancellation of the Atreus game, and PlayStation needed something God of War, and this is something they worked on pretty quickly, which could explain why the game had so many bugs. So many fucking bugs, bro. I don't know how people are not mentioning this in the review. I think they're working on them now. I think it's better now, but god damn it, bro. There were so many bugs when I first played it, man. Yeah. Good news is that the remake won't be made by Blue Point Games. Why is that good news, though? I don't know if that's good news. I mean, I think Santa Monica is definitely going to change things about the remakes. I just don't know how much are they going to change. You know, I think there's going to be some story elements that get, I'm gonna say, get more fleshed out, and some things will be better. Excuse me. Some things will be better. Like, they'll have, when they were writing the Greek saga, they didn't really know how it was going to end yet. Like, they went through a lot of planning, you know. And at one point, he was gonna, you know, the three wise men were gonna go see baby Jesus. That's not gonna be in it now. Those kind of teases are not gonna be in the Greek saga anymore. Now they're gonna know how it ends, you know, with God of War 3 and that story, the themes about hope and all that. So I think those are things that are going to get fleshed out more. And Cory Barlog has said that in from God of War 2 that he's always wanted to do the Gaia reveal differently. Like, I'm like, what does that mean exactly? I think we're probably going to get hints about Gaia trying to communicate with Kratos in God of War 1, for example. Like, we're gonna get see slightly different things in it, you know. Yeah, a month in the oven and release. Wait, a month in the oven and release Sons of Sparta in March would have been so much better. Yeah, I mean, they were still within like that anniversary year. I think they could have still released it. Yeah, at least like ironing out the bugs would have gone a long way to making the experience better. But even that, I think the thing with Mega Cat Studios is that they tried to do a retro God of War game instead of a faithful Metroidvania God of War game. There's so many Metroidvania games out there that have much more of a God of War type of combat with better bosses that I just don't know why they didn't go that route. Why did they go with the Castlevania route where, you know, if you touch an enemy, you get sent back like a mile, and it's just, it makes for really annoying combat sometimes. And what's the mean? Like, the Metacritic score is not lying. It's not the worst game ever, but man, it could have been so much more, you know. Do you think Sons of Sparta will get a physical release? I don't know. I don't think so. I mean, we're gonna have to see how much the game sold. Okay, if it sold well, it's possible that it will, but I don't think it's going to be. I don't think it's going to be the case. If I were to place Sons of Sparta in my ranking now, I'm reading another video here. If I were to place Sons of Sparta in my ranking, it would be, so from worst to best, it would be God of War Betrayal, God of War Sons of Sparta. I'm not gonna talk about the other one because I don't know. I don't know. But what I'm trying to say, there's a chasm in between the quality of God of War Betrayal and God of War Sons of Sparta. Huge. Where it's like, yeah, Sons of Sparta is obviously better. There's more meat on the bone than the than Betrayal. Did I say Betrayal? God of War Sons of Sparta is better than Betrayal by a mile, you know. But there's also a huge mile in between Sons of Sparta and whichever game comes after in my ranking, because like it's also like it's nowhere near Ragnarok, for example. It's nowhere near Ascension. All of those games are miles better than Sons of Sparta. So yeah, I found to check it out on Discord. Thank you, King Scorp. I'm gonna check it right now. Let me see. Where's Discord? Let me see. There we go. Looks like the God of War 2010 comic is fully canon. Hold on a second, guys. I'm trying to get it for you. Oh, okay. So Reddit thing. All right, let's see. Let's see what it says. Audio's good. Good. Look at that huge spot. Look at that thing. Let's see. Where is it? It's here.
What more do you wish to know?
I don't know. It's just, I always wondered what it would be like to have a brother or sister.
Calliope.
I know it's not possible after what you and Mother went through for me. I'm not upset. I'm just curious, I guess, and, well, maybe a little jealous. Like, what do you miss most about Deimos?
His heart. And even without ever meeting him, I can proudly say that you and he are alike in ways that I never could have dreamed. What?
Yeah, so I look, you can take the route and say that, oh, this is just like, it makes sense, you know, the themes, you know, with Sons of Sparta, because it's about brotherly love and all that, and Calliope doesn't have a sibling. But you can also take it as, again, after I make that video, it might become more clear that Calliope just makes sense for her to come back in some way or another. And I think there's something there. I think there's something there that Grotius left behind this other child he had in the Greek lands, okay? That also didn't know she was a god. That another manipulative god could potentially take advantage of and use a possible rage that she might have towards her father now against Kratos. And wouldn't that make sense? Wouldn't it make sense for that angry Calliope to come across the child that Kratos didn't fail, fueling that anger even more? Doesn't that make narrative, like, isn't that narratively juicy? I'm not a writer, but I'm like, there's so much potential there. There's so much potential there that I'm like, it'd be a shame to leave that on the table. Calliope has to come back, bro. When's the Sons of Sparta review? Nowhere in sight, bro. Nowhere in sight. At this point, I don't even think it's going to be a God of War Sons of Sparta review. I think I kind of missed out the window on that. I kind of want to make a broader video about it on how ultimately PlayStation made a mistake with Sons of Sparta. I know it's gonna sound kind of negative, but I kind of want to talk about that because they really had a good opportunity there to really try out something new, and I think they kind of missed it. They kind of missed it, you know. And I hope people give it a second chance, but I don't think they will, and especially not Herman Holst. Herman Holst is looking at the reception of that game, and I don't think he's gonna green light another God of War Metroidvania game. And I was like, it's a shame. It's a shame because it really could have worked. So I'm probably gonna get my opinions on that games into that framework, just kind of like that, you know. Hold on, let me get the chat here again. Where's, okay, read that one. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, can you check the address theory I sent you on Discord? Well, right now I'm not gonna do that because I mean I have to read a lot, and I don't know if like I'm not gonna get it right away. So I'll reply to you guys later on, like once the stream is over, because again I'm still working on the video. I'm hoping I can get the 10 lore details you missed in Sons of Sparta out tomorrow for members, and then I can work on the Faye video, because now the Faye video has taken top priority for me right now. And yeah, again, a lot of the things I've mentioned here are probably gonna be in the video, just letting you know. I just realized that they foreshadowing something when Kratos said you and him are more alike than I could ever dream. Maybe how they were both trapped. Oh, I see. Well, here's the thing about that. The other rumor is that part of the rumor that came out is that Santa Monica is thinking of doing an MCU type of thing with God of War, which sounds kind of scary because the MCU these days is just ass, you know. But there was a time. The MCU did have a golden era that it was just so epic, bro. It was so epic. And I think God of War could potentially have the bones for it, right? And when it comes to Sons of Sparta, I think they're setting up things in that story as well. I think they kind of left the window open, like the door open, for them to make a sequel, you know? Because I think there's evidence that Zeus might have been involved in some events of it, which makes sense if you know how it ends, you know? It just makes sense if you know how his story ends. And when we look at God of War Ghost of Sparta now, you know, Ghost of Sparta, what do we see? We see Deimos being chained up, but he's not weak. He's not dehydrated, like malnourished. He's super deased. he's got like a sport, not a sport, like an armor on his shoulder thing. He looks like he's gone out doing missions for someone. Okay. And why wouldn't the gods want to use whom they think is the marked warrior? Could it have been Ares? I think they could potentially do like a spin-off game with Deimos as well. And man, I'm gonna freak out if they actually do like that. If they do a Deimos game, that would be the time to actually kind of explore that old school God of War anger, you know, like with Deimos. I think that would be so good, man. I think that would be so awesome, you know. Calliope coming back seems far-fetched. For all we know, her soul was lost when Kratos destroyed the Greek lands in God of War 3. I can see how you could think that. But I think there's just a lot of narrative juiciness that it'd be a shame to waste. I don't think it's far-fetched at all. And hopefully I can change your mind once I make that video, you know. They're going to make God of War into Assassin's Creed. Hopefully not, right? Hopefully it's a little bit more well thought after, much better well thought, you know, than just what Assassin's Creed is doing with its series, you know, with Ubisoft is doing with Assassin's Creed, you know. MCU of God of War, absolutely not. Even in its golden era, the MCU had flaws that God of War will not have because it has a singular vision with Corey. Hopefully that's the case. But you know, retcons are always going to happen. We've already seen them. I think we've already seen them, you know. By the way, I'm looking to build a team of people who want to make video games and make an indie studio. Are you really? Good luck with that, man. It's gonna be difficult, you know. But I wish you luck, man. I wish you luck, and I'll play it. I'll play the game whenever you make one, you know. Like I want the MCU writing gone and turn this whole thing. Wait, sorry. Turn this whole thing into an MCU universe hell. No, that's one thing I do hope for the Faye game, and I don't know if it's gonna go away anytime soon, bro. I want them to change their dialogue, man. Like their dialogue just is so lame sometimes, and I know they can write it because you got characters like the Griffin. I forgot what the Griffin is named. Oh, I actually turned on Ghost of Sparta. Like the Griffin in Sons of Sparta. I forgot her name. Not Lysandra. Adrastea, I think. Where it's like, she sounds cool. She sounds like one of those old school God of War games. You have the lexicon, which sounds awesome when she speaks. But then you have Deimos like, whoa, and I was like, shut the fuck up, bro. Shut the fuck up with your Disney-ass dialogue. Like, who the hell hired you? Like, come on, man. Who gave the direction to do that shit? Anyway, hear me out. What if it's Deimos who blew the horn and LMFAO? I don't know how. I don't know why. I don't think it is. I think that one is a little bit too far-fetched. I don't know how you could explain that, you know? Because Deimos does die, you know? Yeah, Adrastea, yeah. Bruno explicitly said that Santa Monica are against retcons as they're lazy writing devices. Well, it's one thing to be against it, and it's another thing to just kind of feel pressure to do them regardless. Because sometimes it's going to happen. Sometimes it's just going to happen. They can't really help it sometimes, you know? I knew you would love Skjoldr Deimos. Fucking shit, bro. Some of this dialogue, man. Some of this dialogue just pisses me off. I don't know why they do it. I don't understand that at all, you know. Ubisoft finally confirmed AC remake officially. Yeah, apparently they're doing some good stuff. Like they brought back like a guy from AC 2 or 3, I forgot which one. But it seems like hopefully Ubisoft gets their shit, you know, together and actually starts making quality games again. You know, but I don't know. I kind of lost faith in them, you know. Let's see. We need a Captain Kuba prequel game set before his 2 months and before the demiurge of the higher plane theory collapse. Kuba descended into madness. Yeah, I think. I mean, I think that should be a video in itself, just putting to rest the demiurge like theory, because I think it's dead. I think that theory is done. Like based on the discovery Morse made about Athena and all that, it seems that Athena is going to be like the centerpiece of, you know, the villain arc. You know, she's gonna be the pure focus of it. I don't think there's gonna be another higher being or anything like that. But Corey did say that the higher world of God of War remains to be explored. So I don't know. We have to go. We always go into this infinite regress of like, okay, but who created the primordials and who created the the chaos where the primordials came from. We can always keep going back, you know. So it's possible that something else bigger than all of these gods exists, like the demiurge. But I think Athena is going to be the main focus of it, you know. How does Odin theory fit into all of this now? Because there are too many hints for that to not happen. I think Faye will know Odin's trickery and will be revealed about Odin's plan and Raggy. You know, I'm not sure about Odin, to be honest. I'm not sure anymore, because it's based on what I think it's going to happen. It seems like it's a lot now, and I don't know if Santa Monica is also going to have Odin in there as well. It's possible that Odin is going to be like Mjolnir, for example, in the MCU, where it just took time. It just took time, and then at the end, in Endgame, they're like, he lifted the hammer, and that's what happened, you know? Maybe Odin will be like that, because, like, I mean, the Raven being alive, it seems like too much of a hint for it not to be something. But I don't know how any of this is going to fit into the story, you know? So I think it might come back in the future, but it might be more like, ah, shit, we all hope is lost, you know, what are we gonna do? I have a plan. Someone says, I have a plan. I can tell. My dialogue ain't better than Santa Monica. I can just point out that there's suck too sometimes, but mine sucks even more. I have a plan. I can see that there's someone's soul in that Raven. Release it, and it's Odin, and he doesn't remember what happened, and he's a good guy now. The story needs some tweaking, okay? This setup needs some tweaking on my part, but I'm not gonna talk about that, you know. Faye game has me hyped. Tyr, Brock, Sindri returning, Freya being married to Odin, a more thriving Norse realm, Thor versus Faye, removing one-shot camera and using the full PS5 power, more action-packed. Yeah, I'm not sure about the one-shot camera. I think that's gonna stay, because this game was made in 2019, so Corey was still pretty much in that mindset, unless like he had to like rework it or something. But yeah, and the thing, all of those events that you mentioned, you know, Tyr, Brock, Sindri returning, yeah, Freya being married to it, all these things happen across hundreds of years. And it's like Chronicler said, there has to be a time skip, and I think it's going to be time travel related. Also, Sully, welcome to Spartans, man. I appreciate it. Thank you, man. Odin. Exactly. I hear someone mention my name. We summoned you. And I feel bad for Morse, man. PlayStation apparently is pulling back their project to release PlayStation games on PC. I think the golden era of Norse ended as soon as it began, bro. Like, he's not gonna get any more God of War games on PC, and that's a shame, because I don't know how to do that on PlayStation 5, and we won't have anyone else to discover these things. Maybe Morse is the reason why PlayStation took, you know, the games away from PC. They're like, we can't have these secrets being spilled into the community more. We gotta pull back, you know. Morse has had like a pebble being thrown into a river. It's had effects on the industry, okay? Let's see. I was thinking if I haven't read anyone else's comment. Yeah. Could it be the last Spartan who saved Kratos at the end of God of War 3? We know that his death was undone when Kratos went back in time. If we use my time travel approach, and that is one thing that I hope Santa Monica kind of clears up, or yeah, I want to say clears up. Like, they really think about like the time travel, like how it works, because the time travel in God of War 2 is kind of ass. I love God of War 2, but it's kind of ass, and the fact that it's so divisive that when I say that, oh yeah, they're using Back to the Future time travel logic, and some people are like, no, it's definitely like multiple timelines. Like, there's a lack of clarity there that Santa Monica needs to clear out, and I hope we finally get a good answer as to how the time travel works. It's not gonna be perfect because it's time travel. It's always gonna have plot holes, but something a little bit more concrete would be nice, you know. So I think that's one of those things that Santa Monica is going to iron out. That's what I mean. I don't think they're going to change the story drastically, but they are going to iron out some things in it, you know. But it would be cool if the last Spartan is somehow responsible for saving Kratos somehow, because I think in Fallen God you can kind of see that Kratos has some bandages on his stomach. So it's like someone was taking care of him, but I can never tell because of like the art, and it could just be like stylistic choice. Maybe it wasn't even bandages, but to me it looked like he had bandages on, but I don't know. Again, I don't work for Santa Monica. Yeah, you do. Shut up. I know you do, you know. Time travel in Faye game makes sense. They will answer questions for 2018 and Faye did things across the years. Yeah, because even Corey said when talking about the whole the whole horn situation thing, it's like, yeah, who would be following Kratos and Atreus? And it's like people say, oh, it's Baldur. It's not Baldur, guys. It's not Baldur. Baldur was chasing them in a different sense. It's someone else who we don't know, and it was probably Faye. It was probably Faye from the past because she's a giant and she can do shit like that, you know. I dropped my phone. If anyone accidentally got timed out, my apologies. How dare you, King's Corp? How dare you? How dare you? You know. Wait, more Chronicles. I read your Faye theory. Very cool. Okay, what's the theory? I feel left out. What's the theory that Morse wrote? What's good? Because now it's being validated by the Chronicler man. So what happened? You know. I don't like the last part in Sons of Sparta because the timeline doesn't line up. LOL. How so? How does it not line up? Because we don't really know how much time happened in between God of War 1 and God of War 2, right? Like, there's nothing specifically said about that, you know? Yeah. Funniest thing they can do is Faye time travels and goes back to 2018, and she hears the horn too, but she's far away from it, like Kratos. that'll be like the bluest of balls right there if that happens, you know. I sent it to you first, Kuba. Yeah, I haven't really checked Discord in a couple of days, you know. So you were the first person I sent the theory, man. It's my kryptonite, bro. It's my kryptonite. I don't check Discord that much. I'm sorry, you know. Can you give me like the bullet point version of it, and then I'll go and like look it up like later after the stream is over, you know. It's funny how I titled this God of War Ragnarok being revisited, but this just turned out to be another hangout. Like, we're just talking about the games, you know. I don't even have any music playing in the background. That sucks. It's just me. It's just quietly me talking about this whole thing. To be honest, the time travel in God of War 2 was mainly just a badass feat that Kratos did with a rule of cool. It wasn't meant to be taken seriously. Then you look at Prince of Persia, who actually tried to work it out. Exactly. Prince of Persia actually took to... they put more effort into making it work, you know. Bro's beating me to all of the news and theories. He's like, yeah, I heard that from Morse. Hey, Darth Saudius. Welcome to Darth Saudius. That's a good name. I like it. I thought, I'm like, is that what I think it is? But then I saw the profile picture. I was like, that's what it is. Darth Saudius. What's up, man? Welcome to the Spartans, man. It's a big text, LOL. Okay, I'll read it later, okay? This Faye game can fix the Norse problem. Morse is my head. More spectacle, brutal storytelling, and a serious tone. More spectacle, less MCU dialogue. This Faye game is a huge risk, yet they are taking it. Yeah, I think it's gonna be such a huge win, bro, if this Faye game ends up being more linear, okay? Because I am down for a time traveling story, but the last thing I need in a time traveling story is having a companion AI, fucking Angraboda's mom or something, like, you know, yeah, we can actually go and look for some runes and like, shut up. Let me enjoy the story. Just let me enjoy the story. None of this exploring shit, okay? But I feel like it's gonna be there. I feel like, and you're still gonna have to do fucking RPG shit. I just know it. Corey can't. He can't help it, bro. He can't help it these days. I'm like, come on, man. Just make a linear game. Just make a linear game with a nice story. And this is the thing that pisses me off. Bro. After the Norse games, like, there's obviously like a more focus on storytelling. And you would think that with this focus on storytelling, linearity would be key, you know, like would be like the most important thing, because it just makes more sense, bro. All right. I think everyone wants to read the theory, LOL. Okay, all right. Okay, everybody wants to read Morse's theory. Let me see Morse's theory. Oh, he's playing God of War Ragnarok. Holy shit. Oh, I see. Where is it? Oh, and we need to talk about this one thing. So far, I think like the description of the characters have been good for the show, but I'm not sure how I feel about... Did I change the thing? Yeah. I'm not sure how I feel about the new characters of Magni and Modi in the show. Like, there seems to be making some changes, you know. Is this it? Which one is it? I'm guessing this is it. Oh my god, hold on a second. Found the dialogue of Hildisvini negotiating with Rasselberg and Hel right before he asked Mimir for help in Muspelheim. Atreus, over there. Is that Hildisvini? What is he doing? Hildisvini, you are no ally to Odin. Join us. Kratos negotiating. Hildisvini, speaking the bird thing, okay. Lend us your might, lend us your army, that we may strike at the heart of tyranny, at the heart of Odin. The dead deserve justice as much as the living, do they not? I beseech you, merciful one. See. I want God of War characters who sound like this again, bro. I beseech you, merciful one. Can we get that dialogue back, bro? Can we talk like that again? Okay. In the name of Yggdrasil, Fimbulwinter was our warning. We must not ignore. Our time runs short. War with Odin is the only answer. Our time is now. Join us, Great One. The last stand to save the realms or perish fine. Mimir, oh dear, this isn't going well. Atreus, how can you tell? Rasselberg is silent, doesn't seem to be interested in fighting. Perhaps she doesn't see a point. We should go. Let Hildisvini do what he needs to do. Oh, okay. So it kind of ends like that? Okay, so what's the theory? What's the theory? That's interesting. Where'd you find that? I mean, I'm guessing it's Ragnarok, you know? I'm glad I'm not the only one that sends him a ton of messages. Yeah, it's a lot, man. It's a lot. Did Kuba just say Femboy Winter? I think you're hearing stuff. I think he wanted me to say Femboy Winter. I'm guessing this is it. Let's see. The image of Mimir in the tree on the wall in Jotunheim was taken from aka the Remsung carving, which shows elements of the story of Volusna saga that tells the story of Sigurd, the Slayer of Fafnir. Interesting. I don't think this is it, though. I don't think this is the faith theory people were talking about, right? Oh, is it this one? I heard Femboy Winter as well. Well, my bad, man. All right, that's a lot of reading. And I can't really read on the spot out loud. Okay, I just can't. Okay. Here we go. Wish me luck, boys. After finding out we need the Unity Stone to bring back the Jotunheim Tower, we go to the Hall of Tyr, a place under Tyr's temple which can be opened by a key specified by Tyr's shrine found in a secret room inside the temple. Upon entering the Hall of Tyr, we find some tapestries hanging on the wall. The first one shows an unknown woman with Tyr in front of the Jotunheim travel tower. The second shows Jormungandr at the Lake of Nine before he grew enough to submerge the entire place. The third shows Jormungandr in a submerged Lake of Nine with Tyr's temple underwater, like we find it after leaving Freya's house. The woman in the first tapestry was theorized for a long time to be Fae, but there was no actual proof since the design of the woman had some differences when compared to the one of Fae found in Atreus' prophecy in Jotunheim. That was a dead end. Unless he's got the three theory points. Unless you went beyond the game. There's a book called The Art of God of War, released 4 days. The Art of God of War, released 4 days after the game, which shows the creative process and concept arts for the main elements of the game. And one of the elements shown there is Atreus' prophecy mural. In that concept art, Faye is identical to the woman in the tapestry found in Tyr's temple. That design was later confirmed in God of War Ragnarok with Faye's appearance in the second version of the mural found in Ironwood, showing her with the same design as the concept art. In the game files, there's a lore entry that reads, "In order to save the giants, Love Faye the Just aided Tyr in severing the path of travel to the realm to Jotunheim, confirming what Mimir said about the towers disappearing in 2018. Whatever happened to it, I believe it could only have done with Tyr and the giants working together. This confirms that the woman in the tapestry is Faye. So we have a hall with tapestries that reference both Faye and Jormungandr." Yeah, the thing about this thing is I know that evidence is key, right? Excuse me. Evidence is key, but I always thought it was Faye. None of this is really surprising me because it just makes sense for it to be Faye, you know. But it is juicy stuff, you know. Where did I love? Okay. I don't know where I stopped. I went to read the chat and then I got lost. Yeah, okay. What tapestry is Faye? So we have all the tapestries that reference both Faye and Jormungandr. Okay. Now going inside, we found out that the entire temple has mirror upside down copy, and that it was built over an axle, making it possible to flip the entire temple to reach the Unity Stone, which is hidden in the mirror temple above. To do that, first we need to take an elevator down and go to the rooms on opposite sides, where we can remove the chains, preventing the temple from being flipped. But before we go to those rooms, let's talk about the suspicious Jotnar shrine positioned right in the middle. The shrine I'm talking about is about Bergelmir and his wife, named Nal, in the shrine, where the two only giants that survived the flood of blood caused by the mortal wound given to Ymir by Odin. According to Mimir, they sailed for weeks until they found a new land named Jotunheim, had a bunch of children, and all the giants we know descended from Bergelmir and Nal. Bergelmir eventually died a peaceful death, making him the only giant known for dying from old age. But the shrine never tells us what happened to his wife. In the two rooms we find two runes carvings that together spell the sentence, "Leave them alone until the gods grow good." So it's the same as Jotunheim, yeah. Now for some specific details about this place, first the entire place was made to fulfill Tyr and Faye's plan for the Unity Stone to bring back the Jotunheim travel when the time was right. So the place itself is connected to Faye. Second, the entire place was submerged and the temple could only be accessed by waking Jormungandr up, which is why Faye left the writings on Tyr's statue in the middle of the lake telling us to awaken the giant, the creator of the world. So Jormungandr was part of the plan. These two facts explain why Faye and Jormungandr are two giants referenced in the tapestries on the floor above. I'm reading too much. This place is also where the chest containing the World Serpent armor set are found. Another connection to Jormungandr. The rune carving saying, "Leave them alone until the gods grow good," is referencing a rune carving found in Jotunheim at the end of the game called The Guardian's Return. That reads, "We foresee Midgard's fate." Yeah, I know that. Okay. Faye is confirmed to be the last guardian of the Jotnar by three different sources: Sindri, Kratos' shield, and Atreus' mural. Sindri says, "Oh, we knew Faye was the last guardian of the Jotnar left in Midgard. Kratos' shield is called the Guardian Shield. I don't think we need to prove that Faye was a guardian. That's on point." So not only is the place connected to Faye and Jormungandr through the tapestry showing them, an armor set is referencing Jormungandr and the entire purpose of the place itself, but it's also connected to them by rune carving that references the text that mentions them directly. And then in the middle of all, we have a shrine that talks about Bergelmir. Why? The reason why is that the point of this shrine isn't to talk about Bergelmir. It's about him, yes, but the reason is, in this specific place, isn't Bergelmir, but his wife now. You see, there's something I didn't tell you. Morse is sounding like a theory video right now. Hold on. You see, there's something I didn't tell you. In Norse mythology, Bergelmir's wife doesn't have a name. She's not relevant. But the name Nal exists. In fact, Nal is a name by another character. Wait. Nal is a name by which another character is known. And that character is Laufey. Mind blown. Okay. Multiple texts of the Norse myth reference Laufey as Nal. Also, numbered among the Aesirs, he whom some call the mischief monger of the Aesir, and the first father of falsehoods, and blemish to all the gods and men. He's named Loki, Lopter, son of Farboti the giant, his mother Laufey, or Nal. Yeah. How should one paraphrase? Loki does call him son of Farboti and Laufey or Nal. So yeah, he's just proving now that Laufey and Nal are essentially the same character. Yeah. So we're in a place that has tapestries showing Faye and Jormungandr. Was built to fulfill a plan made by Tyr and Faye. It required us to wake up Jormungandr so the plan could be executed. Has a chest that contains Jormungandr armor set. Has runes referencing the text that mentions Jormungandr and Faye directly. And above all that, it has a shrine showing a character called by a name that belongs to Laufey in the myths. And now I think you can see where I'm going with this. Laufey the Just was originally Nal, the founding queen of Jotunheim. Damn, bro. Now we're going to read what the shrine actually says, what Mimir says about Bergelmir and his wife, and then compare that to Faye's words and Kratos' description of her. About Faye, Kratos says her family was decimated by hostile rivals, and she alone survived. She walked the warrior's path, but her war was to live on. to brave the unforgiven world alone. About Faye's use of the Leviathan axe, Kratos said, "She had the strength to wield such a weapon and the wisdom to use it for good. She found purpose in protecting the weak." About Bergelmir and wife, Ymir said, "As a father and a mother, they would multiply exceedingly. And as king and queen, they worked to make Jotunheim a land where giants would know no master but themselves. Bergelmir never sought revenge for Odin's slaughter. His vengeance was to live and prosper." It's like Faye. In Ragnarok, we see Faye talking about the nature of love and grief. The culmination of love is grief, and yet we love despite the inevitable. We open our hearts to it, and to give and to grieve deeply is to have loved fully. Open your hearts to the world, and you have opened it to me, and you will find every reason to keep living in it. Bergelmir Shrines, and this is long, bro. I got the point. Bergelmir Shrines presented by his title, Bergelmir the Beloved, and the third panel shows his death and a crowd of giants crying for his death. The text on the right side of the panel reads, "Loved in death and life." The text next to the queen reads, "The queen grieves for the king." This is good, man. I think you proved it. I think you proved it at this point. I think. Now read the whole thing back, but in your theory voice. I can't do it. Hey, what happened to that? What happened to that super chat? Oh, there we go. I don't know what happened to it. I'm too dyslexic to understand all that. I am getting it. I am getting it. Like there's Morse is compiling a buttload of information that really do point in the direction that Faye was now, right? The only issue I have with this is that in the Jotunheim mural, we see her arguing with the giants. And if she was the queen, the one who founded, Jotunheim, I don't think there'd be much discussion going on. Like, she's the final word, unless ages have passed and they have forgotten their beginnings and they don't even know who Laufey is, But that's the only thing that kind of might pop that balloon of a theory. There's like, yeah, she was arguing with the giants. And if she were to be the queen, you would think that maybe there wouldn't be too much arguing because she was the queen, Anyway, where was I? Yeah, the shrine presents Bergelmir's wife by the name that belongs to Laufey. Wait. The shrine presents Bergelmir's wife by a name that belongs to Laufey, and doesn't show us what happened to her after Bergelmir's death, but it shows the same theme that Faye talks about in Ragnarok, love and grief. Yeah. This explains why Faye gives that type of advice to Kratos. She's speaking from a personal experience. After Bergelmir's death, she opened her heart to the world and found purpose in protecting the weak, which makes Kratos' compulsion in Ragnarok and Valhalla even more meaningful. After the death of his wife, he found purpose in helping the realms just like Faye did. After the death of Bergelmir. Bergelmir, okay. Now, about the cause of her death, there's a detail that never made sense to me until I put this theory together. The novelization of the game says that about the location. You're going to talk about the apples. Yeah, I know this part of the theory. Turn back to the precise location. Yeah, Eden Forest. Yeah. Faye says that builder cabin is the precise location. She countered the... I know this. He told me this part of the theory. I might make a theory about this because this is really interesting because it does seem to have a lot of good evidence that Faye was, Bergelmir's wife, aka Nal. So it does make sense. There are some areas that kind of could be used to go against it, but I think overall it's a solid theory. I hate reading, bro. I think one of the things I hate the most about the process of making videos is reading my own scripts. I hate it. Sometimes I get stuck in a simple sentence and have to go again and again. I don't know about even the yellow trees are just giant magic. Yeah, the apple parts is the one that's the part of the theory that's least convincing, and it seems like giants can live for a very, very, very long time. Bergelmir was the only one, right? But there might be more too that we're not seeing yet. Yeah, she found purpose in Kratos. Hold on, let me get the chat again on my computer because I can't see. You need a collab with Kuba. Wait, you need a collab with Morse Kuba. Do like a podcast, okay? You can do a podcast and invite him, because it's a lot, man. It's a lot. The point isn't the yellow trees; it's the fact that it's an Edom's forest. So that kind of it's the fact that it's an Edom's forest, and those are the apples that keep the gods living forever and young and stuff, right? But the issue with that is that you get to use those Edom's apples in the game to just extend your life. They're just a mechanic, that seems to be like their purpose in the in the God of War mythos. It's not really to extend your life. I don't think there's any part of the lore of the game, not Norse mythology. The lore of the game is it says that the gods need the apples. I think you're gonna mention Thiazi or something like that, but I don't think there's an explicit mention that Odin needs to keep the apples or something like that, or he'll die. So that's the part that I think is the weakest. And I think we can actually take that part out and just focus on Faye being Nell, and I think the theory works. You know, you don't have to include the apples part, but I know Morse loves his apple theories. How about them apples? You know, Kuba will cheat on Kona with Norse someday. This is my theory. Kuba, we need the Discord server back. I can't, bro. Like, people are currently mad at me, like, because I'm not checking the comments. You know, I have like 3 or 4 people messaging me, and you guys are mad that I'm not checking the comments, and I can't do it. I can't. Wait, where's the chat? I just realized I haven't had the chat this whole time. My bad, you guys. Is it frozen? Is it I don't know if it's frozen. Oh, there we go. It's good. I just think it's how she stayed alive for so long, even though Bergelmir died from old age. Right? Yeah. The apple theory comes in because it kind of answers. I didn't really read that part in your theory when I was reading it now, but I think you mentioned it to me before that the reason she died is because she purposely stopped taking the apples, right? And then she just peacefully died. You know. What we need is a Discord server so we can post all the theories instead of spamming your inbox. It might work, you know. But the thing is, you're just gonna be spamming my inbox, and then it's gonna get so huge that I'm not gonna want to read it. It's like my emails. I don't read my emails. I'm not professional at all, you know. For all I know, I could have a Santa Monica email telling me that they're gonna give me the Faye game early, and I just don't know because I don't check my email, bro. You know. I stand with Kratos being the final boss of the Faye game. It makes sense lore-wise. When they meet, they nearly took each other's heads off. Yeah, I think in the Faye game, and that's the thing. Like we're only saying it's a Faye game, but Santa Monica seems to be wanting to make a spin-off franchise with her. Like if the leak, according to that writer, said that they helped create another franchise within God of War, so it's possible that there's going to be multiple Faye games. So. Are we going to get the Kratos fight in this one? I don't know, you know. I sometimes think that before Thor decimated the giants of Jotunheim, all of them put their soul in the balls, so that Thor is tricked into killing soulless giants, hence why they are still alive now. Who's alive? The giants? Oh, and Resident Evil 9 is amazing. I heard it's really good. And I kind of want to try it, but man, I am so removed from the Resident Evil series that I don't know if I can't, you know. I don't know the story. Some reviewers said that this one is more for fans, that you're gonna be a little bit lost in the story if this is your first Resident Evil game, you know. And again, I go back to that whole thing of the Leon gameplay looks really fun, but Grace just not my type of thing, you know. It just doesn't look very fun, you know. Yeah, guys, no spoiling Resident Evil 9. Yeah, I should have said that. Yeah, Resident Evil scared me so bad last time. I immediately turned off my console. Did it really? Is it that bad? It's a bit short for modern games, but it was really good. Hey, you know, we kind of need that. We need to go back to making shorter games again. And I guess we can circle back, tie this into the whole God of War issue, because a big disappointment that people have with the Faye game is just how long it's taken them to make it. You know, Corey has been working on this thing since 2019, early 2019, I believe, right? It's gonna be disappointing, I feel like, if we start the game and it's gonna be the same camera, you know, same type of dialogue, and maybe a slightly faster combat, but it's like this 6.5 years is like what took to make 2018, like taking down what made God of War and just like reworking it again in 2018. And now it just feels like a normal sequel or a normal continuation of the series takes this long. It's just too much in my opinion. Games are taking way too long to make. And I think something that God of War, if the focus of God of War right now is the story, bro, forget about making semi-open world games or even open world games. Just tell linear stories so you can get them out faster. We don't have to wait 6 fucking years for a game to come out. It's way too long, man. Yeah. Honestly, I want to get away from the snow in the Norse games. I'm hoping we get to see if it's a Fate prequel game. Something else that's really cool is that we're going to see a different Norse realm. Okay, it's gonna be one that was hundreds of years ago. Hundreds and hundreds of years ago. So it's not gonna be as dilapidated, not as destroyed. So I'm sure we're gonna see some cool temples, some cool structures like the older games. I think that's gonna be fine. So I don't think it's just gonna be snow. That's one thing that I didn't like about the Norse games. It just looks too grounded, bro. There's a couple of things that this doesn't look like a mythological world at all sometimes, Even Jaffe said he thinks the game would be cool. Yeah, I saw. I think he said that they just need a better character design, because I hope she doesn't look like she does in God of War Ragnarok. She looks so plain, bro. Again, and it's that whole thing of like these story games being so grounded and just looking so like look at what Faye looks like, bro. I mean, you can't see her now. Like I'm always on the other side, but this is not gonna work, man. This is too plain. Like we look up. Wait. I was gonna look up Faye God of War AI, but I'm afraid I'm gonna get some not safe for work stuff. Hold on a second. Let me do it. Faye game AI. Okay. I don't know. Nothing really is coming up like that's interesting. I mean, this one's kind of cool. It's just kind of to get an idea of it, But again, all they did was put like the same cape that Kratos has in Ragnarok. Let's see, desktop. This thing here. So you just it needs a better art. I don't know. It seems the God of War characters these days just look very plain sometimes, Hey Ray, welcome to the Spartan Soldiers, man. I appreciate it. Why is her chat so horny? I can't help that, bro. I can't help that, She looks nothing like someone who would fight Thor and Kratos and be alive to tell the story. I mean, it doesn't necessarily mean anything. Like, she's still super powerful, right? I want her to look cool. Like, have some cool... Like, the cool thing about... And that's something that David Jaffe's correct about Atreus, for example. Atreus looks plain as fuck, man. Like, I know he's just a kid and his story's just beginning, but you look at his character design and he just doesn't really have... You look at him and there's no history. There's like... He's just a kid who wears yellow, And if he changes armor, it's even worse. Like, he just looks so bad. But, when you look at Kratos, he's got a history, bro. Like, that ashen white skin, that red tattoo. He pops, man. He pops on the screen, I blame Sif. Remember that Ragnarok promo and everyone thought that the lady was Faye? Yeah, I don't know who that was. I don't know who thought. You talking about... Hold on a second. Are you talking about this? You talking about this? Man, whoever made that video was fucking dumb, bro. Who made that video? Oh. Look at Discord. What's on Discord? What's on Discord right now? What did you send? You wanted me to look at Discord so I can read a comment about Discord. Let's see. Let me read it for you. What we could do with Discord server is involve a ticket service like how you do with the game developers and reporting bugs. We could give you the theories and stuff. And if the viewers really want you to see it, they could do something like that, submitting a ticket type shit, and mods could siphon it from the best to the worst. I don't know how that could work, bro. I don't know how that could work. It sounds like a cool idea, but I don't know, like I don't have the brains to implement that kind of stuff, Who made that video? did a good video about Faye game a few years back. Yeah, I bet that video is blowing up right now, isn't it? Hold on a second. Let's see. Let's look up the Chroniclers of Midgard. Okay. Let's see. Faye prequel game. Yeah, look at that. It's not okay, come on. Hold on, is there anything? Okay. I see some comments. All right, guys. All right. No. This will not stand, okay? Because it's not here. Because Chronicler has been talking about this for 2 years, bro. Blow up his comment section, okay? Tell him how he's the most good-looking God of War theorist ever, okay? And that his theories rock, okay? Because he predicted it, bro. In a way, he predicted it. Look at it right here. My pitch for a Faye prequel game. There you have it. He's been talking about it. Did I even talk about it? Let me see. I don't remember. I don't know if I did. I mean, I did this thing. Faye is way more important than you think in God of War theory. So yeah, I think that's me talking about like the dream sequences. This is the this is the post Kanaruhi thumbnail editor era. Bomb the video. Nah, I mean, go make sure you go and watch the video and just hit like and just comment how he got it wrong, because that's always good, man. That's always good. Let's see. I'm just right. I nailed it years ago. Yeah, I mean, look, it's something that, I mean, that's gonna sound like I'm taking it away from you, but it's not. But I think I had that idea of a Faye prequel game for a while, because it just makes sense. It just makes sense for it to, like, for Corey to explore Faye in some sense. She has the axe, you know, she's super powerful, and now that Morse is connecting her to possibly now, like, it just makes a lot of sense, you know. But hey, man, you're the one who made the video, so you deserve all the props, you know. He made a video 3 years ago too. Oh, he did? About Faye? I don't know that. I don't know about that. Why don't we react to your old theories today? I feel like it might be fun. I don't feel like it. I don't like how I sound, especially those older videos. But you guys can go ahead and rewatch it if you want, you know. Yeah, it's not super hard to guess. All the clues were there, and Corey. Wait, I'm gonna read it here. And Corey literally said it. LOL. Yeah, it's just a lot of people. I think. Look, I don't want to call them normies, but I feel like it's the people who like the games. They play them and they enjoy them, but they kind of move on. After a while, they just move on and play something else, right? And they thought that, oh yeah, Ragnarok is over. There's nothing else to do with the Norse games. Like, no, there's not. I mean, yeah, there is. There's way more stuff. And again, bro, in Ragnarok itself, there's hints about something relating to Faye. Like that look, I knew it. I fucking knew it, bro. People are telling me, no, it's just him. Like the arc makes. Shut the fuck up, okay? That doesn't make any sense. When he goes to Alfheim with Atreus and Tyr, fake Tyr, like he looks at the light and he looks back with a suspicious face. I'm like, why is he looking at the light like that? What is going? I feel like, I really honestly feel like we're going to see a lot of the events of God of War 2018 and Ragnarok from the perspective of Faye now, who's traveling to the future or some type of shit. It's gonna be something like that, you know? I made a video, Faye game confirmed a month after Ragnarok. Adam Harrington spoiled it. Did he really? Wait, what do you mean he spoiled it? Wait, Faye game confirmed. Let me see. I mean, now it's just, you're just gonna get a bunch of like the things we're getting these days. Faye game. Let me watch. Let's just watch the Chronicler video, because this one's only 4 minutes long. We can watch this one. Let's see. I hope you don't mind, Chronicler. I'm sure you're fine. We met each other, me reacting to your shit, so it's within the theme of the shit. Okay. Let's see.
Hello and welcome to another page of the Midgard Chronicle. It's not even been 2 months since God of War Ragnarok came out, but we're already getting some strong hints about what God of War projects we may get in the future. And I'm not talking about in-game hints, I'm talking real-life hints. We will discuss the inevitable Atreus spin-off in the future. I'm sure you saw the thumbnail of this video and you have questions. What makes me think that we're getting a Fae game of all things? If you'll indulge me, please listen.
Oh yeah, this thing, yeah.
Excerpt from the interview Adam J. Harrington, the voice of Sidri, had with Game and Madness.
If for some reason, somehow, Faye was alive and would come back and Sindri would see her, what would you think his reaction would be? Would he just freak out like, no way?
No comment.
No.
No comment. I think the audio just went out. I don't. Did you just ask a question?
Adam, I love you, but that's not how you dodge a question. Now all of the internet knows there's a Fae game coming. Don't think this is enough evidence? Look at this. We had this under our noses the entire time. Is this what Corey...
Oh yeah, I saw a video that someone said that Corey at one point had on his Twitter. He changed his name to Faye's #1 stan or something. Like it's just God damn it, bro. God damn it. All of the clues have been here this whole time. And yeah, I agree with Chronicler. Like, the way he talked about, with the way Adam said it is like, you're making it too obvious, man. You can be like, oh, yeah, that could be interesting. Moving on. You know, but he was like, no comment. Come on, man. Come on. It's just been under our noses the entire time. It's insane. It's insane to think about it, you know? Fucking gratitude is fake. Have I watched this one? Alright, okay, alright. No more, no more reacting. Mid's editing and humor is still classic. He's the best, man. He's awesome. Subscribe to Chronicler if you haven't, okay? He's one of the best ones out there, okay? If you don't know Chronicler, you need to sub to him right now. Do it now, okay? Let's go back to Big Face, because someone asked me about do you think we're gonna see more gods in the Fae prequel game? I think we will. I think it's only natural. It's the series is called God of War, although this one's not gonna be called God of War, but gods are going to be involved. At least I'm hoping. That's one thing I didn't like about Sons of Sparta, that at least it didn't explicitly had the gods involved in it somehow. It was just about 2 kids and Sparta, and like, you know. Anyway, but I think the Fae game is definitely going to have more gods, and it would be nice if we get an explanation in these Fae games. Because now, to me, it's plural now. That we're gonna get more than one if it's successful. It seems likely now that we could get an explanation as to why there aren't that many gods by the time Ragnarok gets there. You know, I think Faye might have been involved with it. You know, Vidar, Forseti, Billy, Bay. There's something interesting about Billy and Bay that Morse also discovered. I'm not gonna talk about that now, but it's really interesting as well. You know, more gods, giants finally. Yeah, I'm hoping this Fae game is going to look more mythological. I guess that's one thing I didn't like about 2018 and Ragnarok that much, that it takes place after the golden era of the mythology, if you will. It's empty, it's just grass and dirt. The temples are all destroyed. That's why I like Alfheim so much, because it kind of is pristine with that temple. Like, I feel like I stepped into a mythological world right now. But Midgard and all of these places, they just look so plain. Hopefully, if it's a prequel, we get to see a different side of the Norse games. A different side of the Norse realms, if you will, you know? What hasn't Morse discovered? I know. It's insane. And Morse, is there anything else about the Hildisvini thing? Because I'm interested in that now. I'm interested in that as well, because I think based on what we hear in Ragnarok, Hildisvini is going to become the next ruler of Hell, or something along those lines, you know? Is there anything else you found by any chance? I'll change my name to The Noticer. The Noticer, I like it. Let's see. Let me go back to chat here. We didn't even play Ragnarok. I'm too tired. I've been talking too much that I didn't even play Ragnarok. I'm hoping you guys are okay with it. Because if I was playing Ragnarok, I'd be distracted in between playing the game and just talking to you guys. I'm hoping you guys are okay with that, you know? To be honest, I'm still kind of bummed that we're not going to see post God of War 3 Kratos story for a while. Well, the thing is, we might see hints of it, okay? We might see hints of it in the Fae game. But I get what you're saying. You wanted to see you want to have a Kratos focused game, right? And that's understandable because the series is called God of War. It's about him, you know. But it seems like Santa Monica wants to go broader with it. They want to explore different characters, and it could work. There's some areas that they could fail on, but I think overall it's a good idea, so they can try out different, you know, ideas and gameplay design and story and characters. I think they could work. And again, I'm telling you, like an MCU type of thing opens the door for a Demos game. I would love an adult Demos game where he doesn't sound like he was written by Disney. Okay, that would be awesome, you know. In other news, did you see Hagar shut down after a month? I did. I mean, that was expected. I mean, what did you expect, bro? But the people tried it. The people tried. I tried it. I still have it. Here, I still have it. Right here. I tried it. How long did I play for? 1 hour. Hey, okay. I did the tutorial and I did a match and I'm like, I don't like it. This is not for me. I tried it for exactly 1 hour and that was good enough. Next month, 2018 will be 8 years old. Meanwhile, we only have 2 games and we're still in the Norse pantheon. I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you. The solution to this is get rid of the bloat. Get rid of the fucking bloat, man. And just, if you want to focus on the story, focus on the story. Get rid of the RPG system. And that way, you bring back like that old school identity of God of War. Not necessarily hack and slasher and over the top, but, you know, linear action games. They can do it, bro. Just get rid of that. When you get rid of the RPG stuff, exploration is not that needed. The reason you need exploration is because you need to scatter all of these like collectibles all over the place, and it feels like fucking Banjo-Kazooie. It's like, just cut all of that crap out, all of that bloat, and just focus on the main story. Have a nice pacing, bro. It would be so much better, man. It would be so much better for God of War, especially now that they're focused on the story. But they don't want to do that. They want to, and here's the part that I always get a lot of hate on for this. Okay, the reason they don't want to do it is because they need to dumb down the game for newbies, bro. I'm calling you guys out, man. The RPG system in God of War, it's subpar when you compare it to games like Elden Ring or Skyrim. You don't get that much customization to begin with. You get the illusion of variety, but it's just, what do? Well, yeah, I put all of my XP into magic so I can go in there and kill them with one hit. Whenever I do that move where like he does the tornado thing and just kills everybody with one hit. It just makes the action part of the game is completely undercut by all the RPG nonsense. I hate it, bro. I hate it, man. And I think it would be so much better. It would be so much better if they cut all that crap out and just focus on action games again. Bro, again, I've been playing DMC3. And I am convinced that DMC3 is, or DMC games in general, is the way to go. Again, not necessarily in the super fast action combat part. Not that. You don't even have to do juggles that much, okay? You don't have to do juggles that much. But what I like about DMC3 so much is that there is so much content in there for you to enjoy. Like, so much replayability. And they don't use a single RPG stat. There's no exploration. But what do you get? You get different fight stances. You get a different character you can play as in the fight. Like, once you finish the game, it's so much, bro. There's so much content in that game that I played the game and I jumped right into it. I'm playing it again because there's so much for me to do. You know. The 17th Doctor said, "What's up?" Thank you, bro. Thank you for the super chat. Do you think Kratos will be the final boss in the Fae game, and do you think we'll see Greek angry TC Carson or a washed up depressed Chris Judge Kratos? I don't know. I think it might be somewhere in between. Like, if we're going to get the Kratos boss fight, is one that arrived at the Norselands very, like, soon after he arrived in the Norselands, you know. And well, not soon, a couple of years, quite a couple decades, you know. So it's going to be different from TC Carson Kratos, but I don't know if it's going to be TC. I don't know if it's going to be Christopher Judge. I think you're just asking about the voice actor who's going to play him. it might be Christopher Judge, you know, but I don't think he's going to be that depressing, you know. I don't think he's gonna have that angle, you know. It'll be 100% open world or semi-open. It just sells more this way, sadly. Yeah, it just sells more. People love seeing those green arrows and just getting the illusion that they have a lot of variety, but it's just the same thing. It's the same thing, you know. Yeah, Judge said he's in it. Exactly. That's the thing. Because right now we're thinking, oh my god, it's a Faye prequel game. So what does that mean? Oh, it's gonna be like during the exodus of the giants when they go into Jotunheim. But again, that happens way in the past compared to when Kratos get to the Norselands. And Christopher Judge and Corey said in that edgy interview that, you know, Kratos is involved in it. So I think the only way to get both ways if it's Faye time traveling in between times, you know. That's the only way it's gonna happen, you know. Let me see. Let me get the chat on my computer again because I can't really see it all. Yeah, and the leaked con combo. Yeah. I can already imagine the AAA Mario game discourse going on with the Faye game. Yeah, and that's the thing that I fear the most about it, because this game was made soon after 2018. That was the era when these games were still being celebrated. Unless Corey changed course like halfway through and restarted development completely, and maybe that's why it's taking so long, we're probably going to get semi-open world game design. We're probably going to get RPG mechanics, and I hate to say it, we're probably going to get a companion AI, because there needs to be talking, bro. There needs to be talking in these games, and I'm not a huge fan of that. I like my quiet experiences where it's just me and the game, you know, and I get to just have fun with it. But I'm afraid they're gonna make Faye tag along with a character that's just not nearly as interesting as her, just so there can be dialogue. And he's like, come on, man, come on. Tyr is the AI companion. That's probably it. If it's Tyr, it's not that bad. I actually didn't think about that. Mimir. But that seems likely based on what Morse talked about, how both her and Tyr work together to save the giant. So I can see that. The only thing if I'm right and it's going to be time traveling, it doesn't make sense that Tyr doesn't remember Kratos, you know. But maybe Tyr didn't time travel. It was only Faye, you know. Faye has a fairy companion. Well, in the novel, she has a bird. She has like a falcon or something that I thought was gonna get introduced in the games at one point, but it never did. I wonder if that's going to be involved in it somehow, you know. Bro, Corey's making it. I'm sure he will nail it. Yeah, I'm sure. I think on the story part, it's going to be fine. Every time Corey writes a story, I just like it. You know, even though I have my issues with God of War 2, it has a lot of issues in the story. I still enjoy it. Like it's got the best sense of adventure in the series. And then you have Ghost of Sparta, which is super underrated. I love it. In 2018 did a lot of things that I didn't like, but overall the story of 2018 is what began this channel. It's because of Corey that this channel exists, you know. So on the story part, I'm sure it's going to be fine. The thing that worries me, man, is them wanting to reach a broader audience. And in order to do that, you need to dumb down the action game genre. You need to dilute it and just have RPG shit and exploration, and it just things that are just boring, that they're bloat, and they only serve to extend development time longer and longer. It's just like, you know, it's whatever, you know. When do you think we'll get the mainline God of War game now? That's a good question. No one has asked me that, Luke. I think it's difficult to answer right now, but I get the sense that the next Kratos game might be releasing with the PlayStation 6. And as you know, there's some issues with that now because there's a lot of PlayStation components that are being pretty much taken by AI right now. Like they need the processors or the GPUs or RAMs. I don't fucking know a computer. Like all that kind of stuff that you need for making PlayStations it seems like the PlayStation 6 is going to be delayed. So it might be a while. And in that case, it might be a good thing that Santa Monica is trying spin-off games that, you know, they can do in between that. So yeah, it would be cool if Amazon invited you and other God of War creators to the set of the show. Many video games adaptations have done that with their creators. That'd be nice, but I don't know what role I would play. I'm of the opinion that I'm I would have to work on my accent because I still have like a Cuban accent, okay? And I know modern writers are like, no, that's racist. Don't do that. I was like, no, this is a Norse game. This is a Norse game. I don't want to be the Lunda of God of War Ragnarok. Okay, I don't want to be the Lunda of the God of War show. Okay, it doesn't make any sense. Okay, so I would have to be minimal. I can be a statue. You guys know I like a statue. I don't mind a statue. You know, make me a statue that moves, and I have to fight it or something. Not me. And Kratos has to fight it. But yeah, it would be cool. What if Sindri is the AI? He did like Faye. Wait. Oh, the companion AI. He did like Faye a lot. I don't think so. I think Sindri is, dealing with the whole situation with Brock and them created Mjolnir and the destruction of all the giants. Like there's something interesting. It's in Lore and Legends. It says something that Atreus says that he thinks that after when they created the Leviathan Axe, they had. I'm kidding. I can't speak. I've been speaking for too long. When they created the Leviathan Axe, Atreus says that there was a fight of some kind that Brock and Cinder don't want to get into it, right? But this happens after they created Mjolnir for Thor. So something else happened that they could explore there as well. There's a lot of things, man. There's a lot of things, staring Kuba as a background Midgardian. I'm down with that. Me and the set just, hey, how's it going? Hey, King Scorp, welcome back, man. Maybe Faye will have Thor as a companion at some point. I don't know how that's possible. I don't know how they can. I hope the Faye game isn't a duology or trilogy, man. I want all the story answered in one game. What do you think? I don't know. There's. Kind of have to go pee for one thing. I think Santa Monica right now, this Faye game, if they're planning to do multiple games with it, they really need to make sure it's good. They can't have stupid modern dialogue. They can't have a stupid Ironwood section that just removes gameplay completely. This game has to be a masterpiece if they want to do a sequel Faye game. And it's already in between a rock and a hard place, getting it to sell for God of War fans who've been with the series since the very beginning, who just know nothing but Kratos as the protagonist. It's gonna be a hard sell. This game needs to be good if they want to do multiple games. And it's possible that Santa Monica took that into account, that people might not want to buy a sequel. And maybe they'll do the full story like you said in it. But I'm worried that it's going to have the same issues as Ragnarok, that it's going to be rushed, it's going to feel kind of chaotic in some areas. These stories need time, and if done properly, I'm okay with a Faye game. But it's going to need to have something that's going to convince God of War fans to come back. And I think a good way to have this is if you make, like Jaffe has been saying, you make Faye. Am I in the way? Hold on a second. No. You make Faye. Hold on a second. My bad. You make the character design for Faye look really cool. Something that you look at that character and I'm like, I want to play as her. She can't look plain like she did in Ragnarok. That is number one. Her dialogue has to be really good. Like something that just grabs you. And it's not just quippy Marvel shit dialogue. They can't have that. And number three, I think it needs to be linear, and that old school progression that, you go on this adventure, there's no companion AI, okay, and then you kill a boss and you take its weapon, and you get a steady flow of new mechanics involved. If they do all of those three things, I think the game has some hope. Oh, and the story, I forgot the story, but the story is kind of a given. I think the story is going to be good, But you do all of those three things, and it's possible that they can get some old school God of War fans in the combat, But the combat seems to be something they're working on. There's going to be faster, The game has already been completed. Yeah, I'm just saying. I'm retroactively saying there's like, if you guys didn't do these things, Santa Monica might have a hard time selling it to a lot of God of War fans, And look, if Sons of Sparta is the beginning of this MCU direction for God of War, they kind of started off on the wrong foot, if I'm being honest. Because I hate to say it, this game needed more time. And I'm not just talking about the bugs. I'm talking about, excuse me, I'm talking about just reworking it so it actually feels like God of War. Sons of Sparta doesn't feel very much like God of War. The story is not that bad, but it also doesn't feel very much like God of War. The combat kind of sucks. I don't really talk about graphics that much, but the graphics kind of suck, and that's why I made that poll of like, oh, if this is your first Metroidvania game, let me look it up. If this is your first, let me actually look it up. Hold on. I don't want to misquote myself. I jump back to Sons of Sparta. Yeah. This is not like a decisive poll or anything like that, but it's just to get an idea of where people are right now, okay? I asked, if God of War Sons of Sparta was the first Metroidvania game you played, what do you think about the genre, okay? And I said, I love Metroidvanias now. They're okay, I guess. Metroidvanias are boring. This is not good. This is not good. I know for a fact that they could have done a better God of War Metroidvania game, because I've played them. If you want to play a God of War Metroidvania game, go and play Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown. There you have it. Better story, better combat, better graphics, better setting. Like they could have done a really good Metroidvania God of War game, and they just didn't. And I want to say that it's because it had something to do with the cancellation of the Atreus game, and it had to be faster or something. But this is not good. If you want to do an MCU type of thing where you try out different ideas, different genres, you need to put in the work. They need to put in the work, and they could have delivered it. They could have delivered something special with Sons of Sparta, and they didn't. The same thing can't happen with the Faye game. If the Faye game doesn't sell well, it's not going to get a sequel. And again, and if it's not, and if it was planned as having multiple sequels and shit like that, and if it doesn't make any money, they're not gonna go with it. They go where the money is, you know. I know God of War Sons of Sparta wasn't the most successful game, but damn, it has a good OST. Can you open Port of Messina OST? Oh no, yeah, the soundtrack is amazing, bro. I don't know about the Port of Messina one though. I mean, we're not gonna do that because it's just gonna distract us. My favorite one is the Laconian Woods. I love that one. I still listen to it, but that's because Bear McCreary is at it again, you know. And even the story, I kind of like the vibe between Kratos and Deimos. I think it's nice, and it has the bones there to tell more stories about them. But it needs a better setting. It needs better bosses. It needs better combat, better graphics. It needs so much, bro. It needs so many things, you know. Silksong was $25 and such good graphics. Yeah. People were telling that Sons of Sparta, the Metroidvania God of War game, had better graphics than Hades. I'm like, what the fuck do you guys talk? What are you guys talking about? What exactly are you guys talking about? What graphics are you talking about? Have you seen what Blasphemous looks like? Have you seen? We're gonna have to do this again. And then, again, this is like me scolding. This is like me scolding a child who has not scolding but spanking. Are you guys okay with spanking? I don't know what your stance on spanking is. This is only metaphorical, okay? God of War SOS Skolopendra. Like this was actually like one of my favorite bosses in the game. It's very much a traditional God of War boss fight. The fuck? Here. We can watch it now. We're jumping to Sons of Sparta now, okay? Look at the animation work. And I think it was done on purpose. Like there's a jitteriness to it that it just doesn't look very good. Like, just doesn't look very good. And you compare that to a game like Blasphemous. Like, the animation work. Well, I showed this last time. Blasphemous 2, kill animations. Something like that. Okay. I think it was this one. Yeah. All just skip somewhere here. Look at that, bro. Look at how clear that is. Why is the audio kind of weird? Can you guys hear that? What's going on? I don't know why it sounded like that. Like, it's such a clear... You can see everything. And that's another thing. It needs fucking blood, bro. Sons of Sparta needed blood. They have a little bit of blood at the beginning with the Cyclops eye, but it's like... rated T14. Like, come on, man. This is God of War. It's fucking God of War. Yeah, the animations are definitely not good in Sons of Sparta. They're not. And I think it's because they went with Mega Cat Studios, who I'm not saying it's a bad studio, but it's misplaced for the God of War IP because their focus is making retro games. Like, you go on their website and they're still making cartridges, bro, which is really cool. They're making a game for the Sega Genesis or something like that. No one's doing shit like that. And they wanted to, they said it in the interviews, that they wanted to make a God of War game that felt like it came out in the PlayStation 1. Bad decision, bro. Bad decision, because what you're essentially saying is that you want to make an outdated God of War game where it just didn't have to be outdated. There's so many modern God of War, there's so many modern Metroidvania games that do so much of a better job at getting that God of War feel in a 2D environment that I'm like, you guys missed a golden opportunity here to get so many people interested in the genre. I feel like a lot of people who play Sons of Sparta now are not gonna buy a Metroidvania game. They're like, yeah, it's what I expected. Kind of a crappy 2D game. It's like, it could have been so much more. It could have been so much more, you know? What about having the spear as a weapon? Yeah, the spear is just... Who was it? Luke22? Luke22 made a review, part 1 of the review. By the way, that's another God of War... I guess we can call him a God of War creator at this point. He makes a lot of it. Luke, 22. Yeah, this guy. He's super funny. This guy, Luke 22. He's made a lot of... I'm getting the Bible. Luke chapter 22. Someone should send this guy a screenshot of this. Just this, his face with like the Holy Bible of it ad like underneath it. Is it an ad or is it... that's pretty funny, you know. But yeah, this guy is really good. He made a part 1 review for Sons of Sparta, and he points out that there is some variety in Sons of Sparta, but you're just pressing square. Not even square triangle, bro. It's just square. It's just, there's nothing to it, man. Luke 22, the bald guy. Yeah, he's super. I'm surprised he has this. He doesn't have a lot of subs compared to like the quality of the videos he makes. He makes a shit ton of God of War videos, man, and a lot of them have gotten really popular. Like look at that. 3 months ago, I got 1 million views. So yeah, he makes really good God of War content. Anyway, Amazon, let's cast Kuba as Tyr. Me? Chronicler as Jormungandr and Cesti as the Dead Giant in Jotunheim in the background just for the fun of it. Hey, I would be down. I think it would be cool if all of us were like the Dead Giants in the background. How would that work? You know, I'm down for that. I just saw his video on Sons of Sparta. Yeah, he's really good, man. He's really good. Definitely like follow him if you haven't. But yeah, I just feel like that's going to be like my angle for the review, because I mean, there's no point in making a review now. The people who are going to buy the game already bought it. You know, no one's gonna be waiting for my review to see if they want to buy the game or not. I'm telling you, you can check the Metacritic on the game. And it's accurate. It's a mediocre, leaning towards decent game. You know, it's just fine. You know, it's got a cool art. I'd mentioned the graphics, that they're bad. The graphics are bad, but the art itself is pretty good. Like, there's some environments that just look beautiful, right? The art and the music are, I think, the best things that game does. You know, and some characters, I think I like the Griffin and some of the lore explanations. I'll talk about that tomorrow probably. I'll share the video tomorrow hopefully. Anyway, let me go back to the chat. How long have we been streaming for? 2 hours. Nice. Okay. Do you think we'll see Odin again in the Fae game? I think it's possible. We're going to see... Well, I don't know. I don't know if they want to make Odin the focus again. I think it's going to have it needs to have a different villain of some kind. It might be Thor, actually. It might be the game we were supposed to have as the sequel. Can you imagine that? Faye trying to, you know, save the giants while Thor is on the hunt, and you get multiple fights with Thor. I think that would be super awesome. And we get a fun Thor, bro. We get a fun Thor that's the one we were kind of promised in 2018, not one who's depressed. The depressed Thor is fine, but you can't take away that cool aspect of his character as well, you know? Bring the goats. Make him ride the chariot with the goats, man. Wait, they just released new images from the God of War TV series. Sent it to you on Discord. Did they really? Did they really? Hold on a second. Oh my god. Are you serious now? You fucking guy. Alright, okay. King's Corp is just rolling. The live action God of War we all wanted. Honestly, there's a part of me, if the story's going to be shit, might as well do something funny like this. Like, this would be pretty funny if they do. You know, and look, up until this point, I've been okay with the character descriptions for it's been pretty much the same. But I didn't like what they wrote about Magni and Modi, and I get it, they have to expand their characters. But it's one of those cases that I feel like them being a little bit one-dimensional is better. Not everything needs to be super deep, bro. You know, in 2018, they're just two brothers who are competing against each other to get their father's favor. You know, like that's all they're, and that's cool. That's something we can all get behind. But in the show, they're saying that Magni is a ladies' man, and he's very protective of his brother Modi, which bullshit, okay? And they're saying that Modi is this like genius child who does little puzzles and he gets lost in them. It's like, what the fuck is this? What? Who wrote this? I mean, I will have to wait and see. But it's like, what the hell? Like, Modi was straight up a creep in God of War 2018, and I loved him. I loved his creepiness. And now he's just like, you know, tinker child who's like, you know, playing with puzzles. Like, what the hell? They're gonna make Modi into Albert Einstein now? Like, come on, man. Come on. And Kevin Hart is perfect as Atreus. Both can't stop talking. They still haven't found Freya. Yeah, that is kind of odd. Freya, given that she's one of the more important characters in 2018, it's odd that they haven't found her yet. You know? Yeah, why haven't we seen Freya yet? I don't know. I don't know. Let's not forget Corey is on the board of the God of War show as well. Yeah, that too. I'm just saying, and look, and the Magni and Modi direction could work at the end. I'm just saying it's kind of questionable. It's kind of odd that they're going that route of they're changing the characters so drastically. I don't know if I like that, you know, because I liked Magni and Modi, but I get that Magni and Modi, how we got them in the games, makes more sense for the game, whereas in the show they have to expand their characters. But I don't know, they just look like two twinks, bro. It's like these are not the characters I was expecting. So those are the only two that I'm like kind of questionable. Yeah, I hate when writers make something good, but then they ruin the source material by going, but what if? Sometimes it works, but I think what I liked about Magni and Modi the most was that aspect. You know, they were just competing to get their father's favor. And now, like, there's more to them. But it's one of those things that, like, there didn't need to be more to it. It was good how it was, you know. Maybe it's in the past before he became a weirdo. Well, we know it takes place during the events of 2018, though. So it can't be in the past. Unless there are going to be some flashbacks of some kind, you know. Heimdall is a smart one, not Modi. Yeah, I don't want to pull it up right now, but the way to describe him, and I remember it specifically, is that, yeah, he gets lost in puzzles sometimes, and he's like, what does that even mean? Is this like an Atreus game? Like, he's going to be reading now? Anyway. Do you think we could see a different Asgard and Faye prequel in Ragnarok? Man, Asgard sucked ass, dude. I don't think Asgard sucked that bad. It's an interesting take on it, you know? It's more grounded, sure. But it still looks kind of mythological. The only thing that they needed was just have more gods in it. Just have more gods. And I don't know if we're going to see Asgard, because that's the home base of the bad guys. I don't know how Faye's going to be going there unless she goes undercover or something like that, you know? There might be some hints about that in 2018, because Mimir says that Faye thwarted the Aesir's plans multiple times. So it's possible that she could go into Asgard and it's going to look different. So it's possible, you know. I think I'm tired of the "we were wrong, let's be better" shit. Yeah, I think it's time to move on from that. I think we're good now. I think we've had enough of that. You know, that was enough. They have to stop with this sad backstory shit. Just make evil villains who is evil. God of War God of War in these days. Yeah, I get what you guys are saying, that you don't need to relate to every single villain, you know. Not every villain needs to be deconstructed. Some people are just evil and they just want to be, they just want power, and that's good enough, you know. I don't care what people say about subverting expectations. Asgard needed to be as beautiful as Olympus. It doesn't need to look like a set from it doesn't need to look like a set from How to Train Your Dragon. It does look like that. I never thought about it, but it does look like that. What I like about Asgard is that it has the shape of a raven, so it's like it's got that mythical aspect still, but it's kind of more subtle, if you will, you know. And I like that you can see some dragons or wyverns like on like long posts just watching over the people. There's some elements that I like, you know, but I do get what you're saying, that it looks too small, you know. And what are you gonna do? That's what we got, you know. How do you feel that we're going to see him here with a body walking with legs? It's interesting. It's gonna be interesting to see what he looks like, you know. But we probably will see him, you know. Again, like the Norse past spans hundreds and hundreds of years, so I don't know exactly if we're going to get to see him here before he gets put on the tree. But yeah, that would be cool. Yeah, the raven shape is cool. Exactly, bro. I asked GPT what game character would it compare me to bash all of my chats. I don't know what you just said, bro. I don't know what you just said, King Scorp. I'm sorry. All right, I gotta go pee real quick. I'll be back. Okay, we can continue or end it. I don't know what you guys want to do. Give me back. Let me know if there's anything else you guys want to talk about. We haven't really talked about the remix that much. All right. Where did we leave off? Oh, I got a super chat. My phone is stupid. Based on all of my chats, it compared me to Kratos from God of War. Oh, I see. There was a comma there that you put. Okay, I got it. I see. You're badass, bro. What can I say? You're compared to God of War 2018. So yeah, I don't really know what to talk about when it comes to the remakes. I think they're definitely going to change some things, but overall it's gonna remain the same. On the gameplay, okay, this actually like brings me back. It's good that I brought this back, because remember when the remakes were announced, I said something along the lines of like the gameplay is going to be in between the Greek games and the Norse games, and they're probably going to use the next mainline God of War game as a blueprint for that. And I think I was right, because the rumors that we're getting is that the Fae game is going to be faster paced, probably a jump button, probably a camera is going to be pulled back, more combo focused. So that's what I mean. I think they're going to be using the Fae gameplay on the prequel games, you know. I hope they don't change a lot. Yeah, the thing that worries me the most about the prequel games, and I don't think they're going to do it, is adding a companion character to Kratos. I really don't want that. I don't think Santa Monica is going to be that stupid to do that. That doesn't make any sense for Kratos to have a companion in those games, you know. The other thing that worries me is them making these games semi-open. I'm like, I don't know exactly how this could work, you know. One of the fun things about the Greek games was that forward momentum. You were always pushing forward, sometimes with the goal visible in the distance. You're like, the spire, I gotta get to it, and it's getting closer every time. I love that. It's such a small thing, but it's so cool, you know. Hopefully they don't change anything, you know. More challenging than the challenge of the gods would be cool. Yeah, we could also watch the Mayo video. He did a video on like the things he wants to see in the game. I still have to react to that, you know. Oh yeah, we can watch the Mayo video on the God of War remix. Yeah, we can do that. We can do that. Let's do it. Let's see what Mayo says. Yeah. All right. All right, guys. So here we have it. We have under the Mayos, the God of War remakes could fix the originals. Is this it? I think this is it, right? Yeah. Okay. Kind of spoiled number 1 there for a sec. Let me know how the audio is.
As a skeptic, when it comes to the God of War trilogy remake, how about we take a positive spin and talk about my top 10 things I think the remake might actually do better than the originals. If you want to hear pure cynicism, check the previous video linked below. For this video, let's be hopeful. Number 1, the camera. I definitely want to go back to a handcrafted cinematic camera, one that frames combat in useful ways while also giving each space its own perspective.
I love you, Mayo, but that's never gonna happen. I'm with you. I love this camera. Look at this. Look at this shot right here. Look. What does this shot not scream like art to you right now? Like you got the environment, you Kratos fighting the enemies, and you also get to see perfectly framed. You get to see Kratos perfectly framed in the background, and you can see when he's attacking you. It's perfect, bro. God of War had one of the most unique cameras in the action genre. What the fuck happened? Tab is using. What did it say? Oh shit! I should have read that. What did it say? What did it say? I don't know what that said. Can you guys hear the game? Can you guys hear the volume? I have a bad tendency of just exiting out of things that I should read before that, you know. But yeah, I wish they would go back to this camera. I don't think it's ever gonna happen, you know. You think in the remakes, one of the new secrets endings has Gaia narrating about God of War 3, Kratos wandering the earth, teasing the Norse game saga a bit. That could probably happen. I don't know if it's going to be Gaia, because Gaia gets revealed that it's she was a. I mean, I thought you said the narrator, but you said Gaia. I don't know if Gaia's gonna do it because Gaia becomes an enemy to Kratos at the end, right? So I don't think it's gonna be Gaia, but there might be some hints about that. There's probably like the ending of God of War 1 might be changed a little bit. The whole thing of him getting visions of the modern wars, that's probably gonna get changed as well.
Parallel, moving with the environment and framing interesting things in the background. The camera is one of the best things about the original series. It's the single best implementation of a dynamic fixed camera system. Compared to Devil May Cry, Bayonetta, Darksiders, Ninja Gaiden, it just blows them all away. But
I agree, bro. I love the MC3, but man, the camera's ass sometimes. Like this one's just perfect. God of War had a rock solid camera. God of War 1 had some issues, but overall it just worked, man. And they're not gonna go back to it. They're not gonna go back to it. I just know it.
It's not without its issues. It is, after all, a camera system that originated in 2005. There's jank, there's some frustrating moments. I think we've all cursed at the TV after falling off the beams in the ship level for the 15th time. What I'd like to see is a refined camera that draws from and evolves the classic one. Kinda like how Tormented Souls took the classic fixed camera system of the old survival horror games and made it incredibly smooth. Sometimes it's static when they want to frame a room a certain way, sometimes it follows you like a traditional camera, sometimes it spirals around, creating a sense of dread and disorientation. Just because a camera system is old doesn't mean it has to be thrown out, it can just be improved. Cinematography is an art. A painting, a picture, a frame of a movie makes you feel a certain way. It draws your focus to something. It makes you feel big or small. We love the old camera not just because you can actually see and react to the enemies around you, but because it creates a truly cinematic experience.
Oh my god, yeah, it's artistic, bro.
Where people wrongly think that cinematic means slowly walking and talking for 5 minutes and watching cutscenes. The original God of War games, like the old fixed camera survival horror games of the 90s, are uniquely fun to watch as spectators too, because of the constantly changing framing of the spaces. Let's put the work into creating a dynamic visual experience to go along with the gameplay. The camera and the way it moves is actually crucial to the epic storytelling of the God of War games. The sense of awe those games create is simply unmatched. So many handcrafted camera movements made to heighten the drama of the moment. Yeah, it's cool to be able to look around from the character's perspective, but it'll never compare to the artistry and immersion.
Look at this, yeah.
Yes, immersion of the original camera direction. This is number 1 on the list because it is the most non-negotiable thing for me and many other fans.
The most non-negotiable. I think, man, I think he's gonna be disappointed already. I don't think the camera is coming back. I love the camera as well, but I think it's gonna have it. It might be pulled out like we all think, but it's going to be more like Devil May Cry 5. Like you'll be able to look around. Like there's no way they're gonna do it. This is what I'm afraid of, dude. 1000%. What, the flying sections? I wonder what he's gonna say about them, because I'm guessing he's talking about the Griffin section in God of War 2 and the chain in God of War 3. I personally like those. Let me see what he says.
2. The flying sections. The Pegasus levels are not the best parts of God of War 2. Thankfully, they only happen twice, and I think they're better than other vehicle sections in the genre. Compared to Bayonetta's motorcycle or Devil May Cry's flying boss fight, the Pegasus levels really aren't that bad. Fairly short and filled with enough variety to keep it moderately interesting. Dodging, ramming, executions, it's cool. It's just not nearly as good as the core gameplay. So to me, this is a no-brainer. You can absolutely make this better. The flying sections in God of War 3 I think are still pretty decent. They can probably just tune them up a bit and add some new stuff. Number 3.
This is the kind of thing that what I'm talking about. Like the older games didn't have a lot of exploration, but they had so much content in them. You know, it had like these flying sections. It had combat challenges sections where like you needed to solve a puzzle, but it was mostly like a combat puzzle, like pushing that cage up the hill in Pandora's Temple with the guy in it while you have to fight enemies. That I love that kind of shit, man. I love, and those are things that the Norse games just don't have at all. The Norse games just feel very static compared to the Greek games, you know. And I'm kind of with him. Like the flying sections were not that special, but I thought he was gonna say get rid of them. Like, okay, good. He didn't say that. He said like improve them. Like, I can see that. You know, that's fine. You know.
Climbing combat. I think most people would agree that one of the weakest aspects of the original games is when you're climbing on ropes or walls or ceilings and you gotta fight dudes.
Fair. But God of War 3 did add a lot more mobility. We gotta be fair here, okay? God of War 3 did improve on it a little bit. I just don't know how I don't know how he would improve upon this aspect of the game, you know?
Or arms coming out of the wall. All you can do are these 2 slow attacks and 1 grab. It's never been fun. I'm not sure how they fixed this, either by making it faster and with another option or 2, or by reducing the climbing sections enough for them to not even need to put pacebreaker combat there. Number 4, XP gain.
No. I want this back. I want this back as well, Mayo. This is not gonna happen, man. This is not gonna happen. Santa Monica right now wants to make these games broader for everybody. Okay, they want to make these games more accessible to more people. A lot of people who personally don't care about doing combos. Okay, they're not gonna have a system where the bigger the combo, the more XP you gain. They're not gonna have that, bro. They're not gonna have that, and I hate to break it to you. It's gonna be mind blowing if they do. But they're not gonna have this. They're just not, man. They're gonna have little runes or something that you can collect. I'm being kind of pessimistic now, and I'm hoping that's not the case. But I'm seeing the tendency. That Santa Monica has these days, because they did the same thing with Sons of Sparta. Like it's the same system in place that they had in Ragnarok in 2018, where they could have a more natural, XP progression than what they did in 2018 in Ragnarok. But they didn't.
One of my favorite things about classic God of War is the combo counter. Instead of a style meter like other hack and slashers, for every 10 hits or so, you gain more XP orbs. 10 hits plus 2, 20 hits plus 4. Once you start getting into the 50s, 100s, you're getting a bunch of extra XP that you can spend on weapon and magic upgrades. Stop making contact for too long, the combo dies. It's so fun to find ways to keep it going through smart defense, magic use, grabs, and air launchers. Shoulder button attacks do scripted animations that rack up a bunch of little hits for the counter, but they can't be cancelled with a block or a roll, so you're vulnerable to getting hit yourself. It's a risky move that has to be set up, and knowing which grab to use can put you just over the top for a big combo bonus. All of this, combined with general XP gain from enemy deaths and big brutal execution bonuses from QTEs, means that smart play and engaging in the game's multiple systems rewards skilled players with earlier upgrades, which is very useful on the higher difficulties. And I am talking...
Look at the simplicity, bro. Look at the clarity in this menu, bro. Look at this. It's so nice. I'm hoping he has like I don't know if the menus bother him in the Norse games as much as it did me, but man, look at this. It's so beautiful. Like it's so clear. Like you see the XP actually being drained into the thing. It's so visually appealing compared to just lines and lines of text that they all look the same, bro. Anyway, I love the Greek games, man. I really do. Yeah, I'm not going to lie, those menus confuse. They're so annoying, bro. They're so annoying.
Talking about general...
I actually have... It's... Something happened to me in Sons of Sparta where I got something. And I got really excited here. Okay, hold on. Let me see if I can find it. Hold on. Let me see if I can find it. Hold on. I can show you. I didn't include it in my things. Not that. Where was it? Couldn't skip dialogue, Daedalus, Demons, then... Something about the menu. These menus, bro, yeah. Okay. This happened, okay. So... oh, you can't see me. Hold on. Let me change my face. Hold on. Let me go here. And I gotta turn it. Where is it? Hold on a second. Flip horizontally. There you go. So this actually happened while I had lost all the progress in the game, and I was fed up with it. As you can see, I was just singing and shit. I wasn't even paying attention to the game at this point because I was just catching up with the whole thing I had to do. Like that really pissed me off. But it's near the end where hold on, I can show you. So this whole time I was thinking, how the hell do I level up my health, right? And there comes a point. Okay, I was singing a song. This is kind of embarrassing to show, actually. Hold on, let me mute it for a second. You don't need to hear me sing whatever I was singing. Okay, so I was looking for some health stuff. Let me scroll up. Okay, the Greek menus confused you? Who said that? So I was looking for health stuff, and I find this thing here. I open it, and it says improves maximum health meter, and you can tell that I'm reading it. Look. I'm reading it. I'm like, wait a second. I need this. I need to increase my health meter right now. You know? Okay, I can have the all volume now. It's fine. And then I go look for it. And for the life of me, what did I just get? I can't find it. What did I just get? Yeah, later I learned that it's under shields, like the Guri or something. That is things you can. Is it? See, now I forgot again. I forgot. You know, that was back when I didn't pay attention though. What was? Like I know it's in the shield. Hold on, there you go. See, it's right there. But I didn't see this for whatever reason. I didn't see this, and I couldn't figure out where that perk was. I thought it was like it was gonna give me more health immediately. The point is, I was trying, bro. I was trying to find that item, but I just couldn't find it. Like there's something about these menus that just confused the crap out of me. Let's see. But that was what I wanted to show you. Okay. Let's see. Skill issue, Kuba. Maybe, but still, I don't know, bro. I like this clarity. Like it's not just text. You got this helmet here. You got the blood that's represented as being the XP itself. You know. Yeah, I got lost in both the menus and maps of Ragnarok. It's insane, bro. It's insane. Anyway.
Play and not speedrunning or challenges. But you also get a lot of XP through chests along the set path and during exploration. Those QTE executions are giving orbs equal to like a 50-hit combo. So the combos themselves aren't as important as I think some of us wish they were. I would be very happy if, at least on the higher difficulties, the combo system were more important. Just as strict, but maybe more rewarding in comparison to the XP gained through other means. Learning to do long combos and keep that counter going is really fun, and it feels amazing to get that big XP bonus. Lean into it, push us further into the fun zone. And speaking of difficulty, number 5, higher difficulties available at the start. I'm kinda split on the idea of locked difficulties. On one side, I hate when I play something that forces me through 10 to 15 hours of a campaign that's too easy before I get...
I mean, yeah, this is like a... I don't see why that's not a thing. I mean, you should be able to, like, turn up the difficulty from the very start if you want to, you know?
to play with a sense of challenge. But on the other side, I've always enjoyed playing something that was already very challenging at the start, beating it, and seeing that glorious message, "You've now unlocked insane mode," and being like, oh shit, a higher difficulty, let's go! I don't know how to resolve these two sides of me. What I will say is that these kinds of games have been around for 25 years now, and developers have to consider that they have a lot of returning fans who are either very familiar with the genre, or are experienced veterans of the original trilogy, or they're just people who love playing hard games and they have for decades. We are...
Yeah, but the issue with that is that Santa Monica is also making these games for the people who started their journey with the series with the Norse games. It's not just for the people who like the Greek games. And that's the thing, that it's gonna be both good and bad. You know, some things are gonna be improved, like the story's gonna get more context in some aspects of that. But I think on the gameplay aspect, I think it might suffer a little bit, you know? And I know Norse fans are gonna disagree with me on this, but I think all of these things are not gonna be included in it, you know? It's gonna be... The entry barrier is gonna be a lot simpler to get through. And that's just how it is, you know.
After all, living in a post-Dark Souls world. The 2018 God of War reboot immediately offered the highest difficulty possible for those who wanted it. It was ridiculous, but it was there. And I think the reboot trilogy should probably go that route. Offer the highest difficulty right at the start, make it bonkers, and when you beat the game, maybe offer some unlockable modifiers like half magic capacity, one-hit death, or whatever you want to do.
Yeah, you know, that's something that Sesti was talking about in his video, that I'm like, yeah, I totally agree with Sesti. I would love it if games, like, this is something that could add a lot of replayability for these more linear games. If they could have like an enemy randomizer feature or something, that you could replay the game, and you can turn on a feature that says, yeah, you're gonna get random enemies. Like, in different enemy encounters, you're gonna get different enemies. So here you're fighting a Cyclops, but what if you were fighting two satyrs or something like that? Like something different. And it's like, oh, that changes things up a bit. I think that could work. And he said it, make it unfair. I don't care. Like, I agree with that. That would be really cool. Like, make the game broken. I don't care, you know? It's ironic that Norse games have mass appeal. Meanwhile, they have more menus and stats to track. I feel Santa Monica just wants to make semi-open world games. Now, I think it's because like most people just like games like Skyrim. They like making builds. Like, they see that as being fun. But older God of War games were traditionally action games that kind of cut all that stuff out and just left all the good stuff in, you know? And they want to appeal to that wider audience. And it's going to be a really tough balancing act trying to please both parts of the fandom, the ones who just like action games and the ones who like all of the RPG stuff. So I honestly think that Sons of Sparta, that's one of the things that it did good. It has like a Nord management system to some extent, which was what you get in the older Greek games, but you also have the RPG stuff, you know? And I think it's going to be something along those lines, where it's going to be a mixture of the both. I don't want this video to come off as me being super negative, okay? I think the remix could potentially be really good, but I'm just saying that I know we're going to lose a lot of things that made the Greek games really good as well. And that's the thing that I'm kind of preemptively grieving for, you know?
balance is a really tough thing to tackle in God of War because the combat is designed around such powerful long-range melee attacks. Hitting multiple enemies, doing heavy splash damage, launching, it's hard to make it not viable to run away and spam the same string in many cases. You have to have really aggressive AI, attacks that counter you, and enemies you really want to engage in other ways. The Wraiths come to mind. They are incredibly annoying, evasive, hard to hit stun, they go underground a lot, but they're weak to grab. A grab will launch them into the air where you can do a bunch of focused damage on them. Stuff like that helps push you off runaway square square triangle spam. But I don't think you can eliminate it just given the nature of the game. It'll be interesting to see how they get the balance here. Number 6, boss fights. God of War has epic boss fights. That first one against the Hydra is simply iconic. The Colossus, unforgettable. Ares and how it drives you into Kratos' consciousness and you have to protect your family. Some of these bosses aren't just individual fights, they are a living part of the level. Some are more spectacle than battle, some are very platforming focused, some have a puzzle element. I always go back to the final Hydra fight where the mini Hydra heads would knock you off the net if you
Yeah,
tried
that's
to
so
climb
cool.
it. So you had to knock them out first and then quickly jump up the boxes to impale them with a spike, allowing you to climb to the top.
I love that.
There's so much variety. And because there's so much variety, there's a lot you can play around with. Some of these fights can be completely reimagined. There could be new boss fights. Maybe there's even a new combat mechanic that gets integrated. We don't know. Maybe God of War 3's grapple will be included in God of War 1. And then
I think, I said this before, but I think the barbarian boss, the barbarian character, could be one of those characters that gets slightly expanded upon in God of War 2 Remake. I think it could work because he was such a pivotal character in Kratos' life. And in God of War 2, you just come across him and kill him. It's like, I feel like they could have done more with him. I feel like it would be nice if God of War 2's story is kind of framed as a competition. A bunch of Greek heroes trying to reach the sisters, you know? And like, you get to see them multiple times and you get to fight them a couple times. And it's like, I think that could work better, narratively speaking. And at the end, you could have, before meeting the sisters, you could have the fight with the barbarian king. Ah, so good, man. So good, you know? Yeah, Mayo actually cooked with this take. Yeah, I mean, there are things you could fix in the Greek games, and that's why I'm still hopeful about it. I'm still hopeful that they're gonna do some good changes, you know. But I'm also worried that they're gonna do some changes that lower the quality of what made the Greek games so good, you know. Santa Monica is afraid the Greek games will overshadow the Norse games once in terms of everything. Hence, they remake to have that grounded feel, the Norse saga. I don't think that's the case. I don't think it's just that they're afraid that the people are going to go with the Greek games or something like that. I think it's more like they're bringing the Greek games into their new style of directing, their focus on story, for example. The problem with that is that they can't go too Norse with it. They can't give Kratos a companion AI, bro. They cannot do that. Like, if they do that, that's going to be an automatically fail for me, you know? But like I said, you could frame the stories slightly different. Like, the one that only comes to mind is God of War 2 right now, where you could frame it as just as having a competition of mortals trying to get to the Sisters of Fate. Because you get that in God of War 2, but it's not you don't put a lot of emphasis on it. They don't put a lot of emphasis on it, right? But in the remake, they could do that. They could have that angle, and I think it could work really well. So it's not about changing the past so much as it is bringing the past into the fold of the current times. Does that even make sense? I think that makes sense, you know? I wonder who's directing the remakes. I wonder if it's Bruno. Bruno loves the God of War Greek games a lot. I know all of them do, but I think Bruno especially loves those games more than people. At least he gives me that vibe. And he was one of the co-directors of God of War Valhalla. So I think Bruno Velasquez could be a good match for the remake, but I don't know if he's the one who's going to be directing it.
that gets integrated into the boss fights. A shake-up to these fights is one of the most interesting things to think about. So is number 7, level design. In the Resident Evil 2 and 4 remakes, they did similar map layouts to the early sections that were the most iconic and memorable. The layout of the map, especially in the Raccoon City Police Department, is burned into the minds of every fan. It was very important to stay faithful to, while also expanding on it and shaking it up in interesting ways. But after that initial faithfulness, they took many liberties in redesigning spaces. The sewers, the laboratory, the castle, the military base. Some of it worked, some of it didn't, but I think there's a 100% chance that essentially every map gets redone for God of War. While the general settings, set pieces, and aesthetic of the original games are highly memorable, the actual layouts of the maps aren't. It doesn't matter if they change which hallways you go down, or where you climb or slide down, or where the breakable walls are, what the puzzles are, where you meet certain characters. What's important is that we go to the places. Athens, the desert, Pandora's temple, Hades, the frozen Titan's lair, the Steeds of Time, Tartarus, the caverns. We are guaranteed remixes of these environments that'll give us cool new visual and gameplay experiences, and a nice shuffling around so veterans don't just automatically know where to go. There are certain rooms, structures, moments, parts of the maps we definitely want to see, but the map design itself can be modified no problem. And
do you think that the towers in Hades are going to be back? Do you think they're going to do that? I wonder, man, because that was one of the most hated sections in God of War 1. I want them to be back. I want that challenge again. You can reinvent it, but I want that challenge again. You need to have that in, you know. I hate how Spartan shields are upside down in God of War 3. That was a mistake, but I think they should keep it. It's kind of, they should just keep it. It's fine. Do you think they'll add lost levels, man? I hope they do. Imagine the lost level of Sparta. Simple answer is yes. I would like to see some of the cut content in the remakes. I don't think I would. I don't think I would. I think I would like that. For example, a quick example that I can give is God of War 1 had a boss level, a boss battle that was cut at the end. And it was with this bird that was protecting Pandora's box itself, right? And you would have to take its eggs and you have to like lure it and then kill the bird or the phoenix or something. That could be in it. God of War 1 didn't have a lot of boss fights. I think that would be nice to have in it, you know? I think there needs to be, you know, that Icarus section where it's just a quick time event where you're going down and you're just punching him? That didn't need to be a quick time event. There's actually a cut section, like it was like a cut arena that you could see that Kratos was gonna be able to walk on it, and I'm guessing fight Icarus. It was just falling down. They could have that in. There was a God of War 1 level that was all about platforming that I personally would have loved it. I don't think that one's gonna be in it, but I would like that one. God of War 3 probably needs another Titan encounter like Atlas. Probably Perseus, the fire one you meet on Olympia. That could be him. There's so many things that they could add that actually would add a lot to the games, and it could work really well. That's what I mean. Like at first I was like, I don't want them to change anything, but you know, I've kind of come around that opinion and be like, maybe they could change some things. Maybe they could change some things and actually make it better, you know? So yeah, stuff like that would go a long way. Yeah, Helios and Hermes make him good in the remix. Exactly, yeah. Yeah, those boss fights can barely be called a boss fight, you know? Yeah, you could have Helios and Perseus be part of the same boss fight. Like you're fighting Helios as you're also fighting Perseus, the Titan. Solved 20 times better. I don't know how that would look, but I think that could work really well, you know? Hermes also. You can still have the chase, but Hermes needs to have a better boss fight as well. So yeah, there's things they can do to actually improve the remakes quite a lot.
Do keep it linear, 10 to 12 hours, high replay value.
Well, let me go back.
Whatever you do, keep it linear, 10 to 12 hours, high replay value. Don't turn it into a giant open world or a backtracking Metroidvania. Keep.
Please, Santa Monica, listen to Mayo on this. Please, keep it linear, bro. I've been talking about that since I started live streaming today. Please, keep this games linear. Do not make them semi-open. I don't want to be collecting random chests that have random, like, XP and things. No. Just keep it linear. Just keep it linear. There is one thing that I would like. There's one thing that I would like, and I think you guys are really gonna like it. In God of War 2, when you reach the Sisters of Fate Temple, you kill Clotho. You get to control time. You get to go back in time. And when you're spinning the thread of, Kratos' life, you can see on the window that there's a lot of moments that technically he could walk up to those, right? I want to be able to walk into one of those, okay? I don't want it to be linear just, to the moment that Zeus killed him. I want to go back to some moments in God of War 2. Time travel. Like, come on, man. Just that one. You can give me a couple red orbs, okay? I don't care. I just want to be able to go through those portals and travel to other locations like that you've been already to. That would be so cool. Come on. Who's with me? Who's with me, okay? Who's with me? Come on, that's a good idea. That's a good idea, right? You see various events in God of War 2. Yeah, like what if Kratos goes back in time? Yeah. Exactly, bro. Go, like, let me go back. Like, let my thumb go numb just pressing circle. I don't care. Let me go to the moment I killed my family or something like that, but something pulls me out. Like there's a timer that never lets me do anything. Something like that. Some gimmick. That would be so cool, man. Dude, that would be such a good god tier thing to put in the game. I know, right? I know, right? Alternate endings would be dope, I'm not gonna lie. I would like all the alternate endings as well. That's something that Prince of Persia did that I liked. There's a canon ending and one that's not canon. I think that could be nice, yeah, oh shit, imagine going back. Exactly, bro. You get the actual ability to go back in time. That's the one thing that I don't want it to be linear. Give me the option to step through one of those portals. Just give me the option. You don't have to make like huge levels. If you can, that'd be great. But you don't need to. Just let me step through it and maybe get a chest or something. And like, imagine getting to walk. Imagine being able to walk through the Great War and just looking around, seeing it. Come on, man. Come on.
Bit linear. Greg linear, Laura linear.
The fuck is he talking about?
High replay value. Don't turn it into a giant open world or a backtracking Metroidvania. Keep it linear. Greg linear, Laura linear, linear Bruce. Keep it linear. Number 8, blood. I want God of War 3 levels of gore in all of them.
Yes.
Old school fans, do you remember when they first showed the gutting of the centaur?
Yes.
Or the decapitation of Helios?
Yes.
Or the gushing fountain of blood drenching Kratos after he ripped out the Cyclops' eye?
Yes.
God of War 3 was the game that actually brought the violence of Kratos' world to life.
Oh, yes.
In my old age, surrounded by countless games with realistic graphics,
yes.
I do actually prefer the visual style of the PS2 games, being less focused on realism due to the technical limitations, of course. But finally seeing God of War presented in such realism at the time was incredible. And with it, we got blood.
Oh yeah.
So much blood. Seeing the story of God of War 1 and 2 with God of War 3 levels of violence is a very exciting idea to me.
I agree, bro. I don't want enemies that spill orange juice when you hit them, okay? I'm talking about the Draugrs. I don't want that. Give me blood. Give me really good dismemberments. Like, it's just... That's something that's very much tied to the God of War identity. You can't remove that, bro. You can't remove that from God of War. And that's one of the things that made Sons of Sparta kind of crappy in terms of being a God of War game. You can't remove the blood, man. I'm with him. You gotta keep the blood and even make it better, okay? The Norse Saga is popular because of the Greek games. When God of War 4 released, everybody was excited due to the changes of combat, changes of Kratos, etc. If they change the Greek Saga, it affects the Norse Saga as well. I think he's going to talk about it. A better connected story across the trilogy. He's going to talk about it now. You can still keep all of the story the same, just kind of make it more seamless. Because you can kind of tell that in the Greek Saga there were multiple writers and they all wanted to do different things. And you kind of want that. I don't want, for example, even though I would love to see what Corey's version of God of War 3 was, I don't want them to change it. They have to keep it exactly the same because, like you said, that's the foundation that the Norse Kratos was built upon, was built on. So I don't want them to change that much. But they need to, I think he's going to talk about how they need to contextualize some events better, And that's fine with that. Just don't give me a companion AI. Do not give me a companion character. That's the only thing I ask, okay? You know what would be cool for the story? You know what would be cool, especially in God of War 1? if it's sometimes like while you're well, there's a cutscene happening or something, the screen kind of goes like kind of wavy, and it kind of shifts into being water, and you can see that it's the gods of Olympus looking at what Kratos is doing at the time, because that's what happens in the novel. It's Athena and Zeus. It cuts to Athena and Zeus talking about Kratos' journey, and it works. Like story-wise, that works. You can get story that way. You don't have to stick me with a fucking kid that's just talking nonstop. You don't need to do that. You can cut to other stuff. You can cut to the gods on Olympus and how they're reacting, how Kratos is doing things on the world. Like that could work really well, man. Yeah. That would be sick, actually. I would like that. Exactly, bro. Santa Monica, hire me, bro. I can be your consultant. Before you announce this, how about you reach out to the fans? How about you reach out to the people that have been with you since the very beginning, okay? I'm shooting my shot here, okay? I'm shooting my shot here. You guys need to know what the fans who have been with the series for the longest time think about it, you know? Anyway, let's keep going. A better connected story across the trilogy.
Number 9, a better connected story across the trilogy. One thing that has really come to irk me over the years is how the ending of God of War 1, where Kratos was said to have gone on for millennia watching over the world's battles as the new God of War, was changed to him acting like an asshole right away and using his power to help Sparta attack other cities, which
this is gonna be a problem for them, because now we know that in between God of War 1 and God of War 2 is the events of God of War Goes to Sparta, which kind of help make the transition better. You know, I agree with them. They should get rid of that whole thing of him being able to see the Civil War and World War 2. That's kind of stupid. You don't need that, right? They can get rid of that. That's fine. But the transfer of him going from, you know, depressed Kratos to I'm gonna kill everybody Kratos kind of happens with Ghost of Sparta. You can't really change that too much. You can maybe have things that kind of make that change a little bit better, but you can't change it too much because that's what Ghost of Sparta is all about. And I hope they don't dare and make the PSP games not canon. I don't think they would do that. But, you know, no random cutting to gods. The cutscenes need to focus around Kratos. No. I mean, maybe not too much of the gods, but again, Santa Monica needs to have dialogue. And how is he gonna get dialogue if Kratos is by himself the whole time? Sometimes he's gonna need to cut to other gods, man. Like, they're gonna be able to see him through this crying pool and be like, oh, what is he doing? Read the God of War novel. God of War 1 novel, it's really interesting how you get to see both sides. You get to see Kratos' side and the gods and Athena and how they're reacting to it. The same thing about God of War 2, how you can see what the fates are planning, you know? I know those novels are not necessarily canon, but it's interesting how they do the story, you know?
Pissed off the gods so much they had to stop him. That's a simplistic way to put it that ignores Zeus's paranoia of his son killing him and Kratos not being allowed to forget his past. But you know what I'm saying. Kratos is just lashing out, now ungrateful for his position as a god, instead of honoring it like it was suggested at the end of God of War 1. It's a retcon for a sequel to a game that had already wrapped up nicely, not knowing if it would even get a sequel. It's fine, you gotta make the story go on somehow, but I would have liked to have seen more established about Kratos' state of mind, what he wants to accomplish, and some more attention paid to who he is. God of War 1 is a very personal story, not just of revenge, but of guilt, depression, and self-loathing. Kratos drank and indulged in casual sex to
Thank you, Mayo. Thank you for blurring it.
At the end of the game, he's so damn sad that the gods won't allow him to forget his past that he throws himself off a cliff to die. Just because he became the God of War after that doesn't mean that stuff goes away. And God of War 2 really only pays lip service to that stuff. It's almost entirely focused on Zeus killed me for being a dick and now I have to go back in time to kill him first. And then God of War 3 is I'm gonna storm Mount Olympus to kill every god because they won't let me kill Zeus. I love it, it's an incredibly exciting adventure, and I feel Kratos' lust for vengeance just as he does because I love him. But it is a less compelling tale than one of seeking absolution and a new start after a life full of horror.
Yeah, they need to keep the events the same. They just need to contextualize them better, is what he's saying. They need to, like, add more explanation as to why this is. They can't go too far into it, though, because it still has to remain the same. But I get that whole stuff. maybe for God of War 2, that transfer of like, you know, depressed Kratos to super angry Kratos is like, we get an extra level. The beginning level is actually some time that Kratos spends on Olympus, and you can kind of see the machinations of the gods against him. That's something you can see in the God of War 2 novel, how they don't consider him to be equal to them because he was a mortal who just was given this role. You know, he's not like them. It's like you could see something like that, and it kind of helps them make that transition to God of War 2 Kratos. So there's things they could do, you know. I love the characterization of Kratos in God of War 1 so much. I know I hope they don't ruin it. I think that God of War 1's writing in terms of the Greek games is probably the best one, you know. Ghost of Sparta is a close second, but God of War 1 and Ghost of Sparta are the better written ones.
I think it would be cool to make some small adjustments to the story to include more of Kratos' personal baggage, tie things together a bit so we think a little more about who this man is. And number 10, QTEs. We largely owe the popularity of QTEs to God of War, and while they quickly became tiresome in other games, in God of War it just feels right. Playing them again 20 years later, I still get into them. Something about the sync, the rhythm, and the animations. They don't happen too often, and many of them use the analog stick in a fun way. Twisting the stick to rip off a Gorgon's head, spinning it round and round to wind in this whatever it's called. I think it's fun. I don't think you can eliminate them in a remake, but you can reimagine them somehow, make them more interesting. But the real opportunity is variety. I get a bit tired of killing the Minotaur the same way every time. Maybe there can be 3 or 4 ways to take him down.
That would be cool.
Or possibly even dictated by which direction you initiate the QTE from. Oh.
Like Doom Eternal, bro. Yeah, that could actually work. That's actually pretty good. Yeah.
Oh my god, like Doom Eternal.
Guys. I swear I have not watched this video. I swear I have not watched this video, man. I'm like, oh yeah, like Doom Eternal, man. That's such a good idea. That's such a good idea, bro.
Oh my god, guys. Before I go, the QTE from. Oh my god, like Doom Eternal. Oh my god, guys. Before I go.
Mayo, great minds think alike, bro. That's all I gotta say. That's all I gotta say. Mayo and I are kind of on the same wave, like on the same like way of thinking sometimes. We tend to like similar games. He likes more survival horror. I don't really get too much into survival horror games. I should try it though. But when it comes to action games, like him and I agree on a lot of things, you know.
Oh, I want to mention something that I absolutely do not want them to remove, and that's the resource management. God of War has limited magic obtained through chests and killing certain enemies. The reboot put it on a cooldown system, and it also changed how checkpoints work, giving you a full health refill when you load one. It took away the importance of guarding your health bar. I'm gonna do a video specifically on this topic, but I wanted to bring it up here briefly, so tune back in soon for that video. Alright, that's my list. How about you share your own ideas in the comments? How about you like and subscribe to my channel, cause you know I'll be covering these games for years. How about you join my Patreon and give me $5,000? There's all kinds of things you can do if you put your mind to it. Thanks for watching, let's cross our fingers. And hey, you. Yeah, you. The viewer who watched to the end. What's up? How you doing? Chances are you're someone who's stuck with me for a while now, or you're coming back because I'm doing God of War stuff again. I just wanted to take a moment to thank you and share some thoughts. You know, I've been doing this for 6 years now. Sometimes I think, man, what more is there to say? Do I really still have a passion for this? And it's stuff like this video that reminds me I do. I get tired of the video grind sometimes. I don't have as much time for it as I did in the first years, but this dive into classic God of War and the big review of the new Silent Hill movie, the survival horror resource scarcity videos, the massive reviews of classic Twilight Zone, these projects show me that I've still got it and I don't want to quit. So thanks again for watching, and I think I might revisit my first How God of War Was Ruined video now that it's hit 1 million views. That could be fun. Bye bye.
I think he did already. Yeah, good stuff. I mean, I agree with all of them. Oh, I can't believe I'm not subscribed. I thought I was. What was I saying? I agree with all of the points, but I think he's being way too optimistic about them. I think, depending on how things go with this Faye game, you know, if there's not a pushback with the whole RPG stuff, we're probably going to see it somehow in the Greek games. And I don't want it. I don't want it, but I think it's going to be there. The resource management is probably going to be not going to be there, or like its role is going to be minimized, you know. The camera's gone. Like, it's things that he wants to be in the games, but I just don't think they're going to be in it, you know. Let's watch the Cesti one now. That one I watched already. Cesti didn't make it wasn't like an edited video. It was just him talking to the camera. And I agree with a lot of things he said. You can go and watch the Cesti one. It's really good as well. He has some really good points about God of War 1, how broken it is in some areas, you know. And the one video I recommend for Cesti, if you, the one, extreme gameplays, yeah. We're not gonna watch it because, again, I already watched it. So the one I recommend, yeah, you can watch the right way to remake God of War. That one's pretty good. But I recommend also this one. I hate petrification tools in God of War because he's kind of convinced me, and it's the reason why I don't really use Medusa heads that much in the older games, is because they're not very fun. And I like how he ends the video. He explains like what's the right way to use it. Plot twist, it's God of War 3's way, and I agree with him, you know. But it's a really good video to show that it shows that Cesti, and I guess like me, we are fans of the series, and it doesn't mean that just because we love the Greek games, we think that they're perfect games. We know that they have some issues, you know. So this is a good video that shows that it's just, we care about these things, man. We care about these games. We grew up with these games, and we want to see them improved. And this video shows it. Where it's like, Corey, Cesti loves these games, bro, but he criticizes them when they're doing something wrong, you know. Listen to Mimir talk about Surtur mural in 2018. Why? What does he say? I don't know how that could be important, because Surtur, he'd be dead, you know. He's a little bit busy being dead. But yeah, look, overall, guys, I am excited for the future of God of War. There's a lot of exciting things, you know, in the future. And yeah, I'm hyped. I'm hopeful that things are going to work out. I'm hoping this Faye game is going to deliver. I think it could be really good if done properly. Again, linear. No silly dialogue. Cool combat. In an interesting time traveling story, I think it could work really well. I think it could be really well, and it will be a nice spin-off. Then I'm even though Sons of Sparta was a little bit disappointing to me, I still think the good things about it are good enough for them to be like, let's try this again. Let's do a sequel now, and maybe a trilogy. Do a trilogy of Metroidvania games that ends with Deimos being taken by Athena and Ares, but make it a God of War Metroidvania. Make a better combat system, more combo focused. It could work really well, man. It could work really well. And then you have the God of War remakes where they could change some things and keep things fresh while also being faithful to the original games. They can do it, man. God of War is looking really good right now. Like, I'm pretty sure it's PlayStation's most popular IP right now. They say, oh, Gran Turismo. Yeah, Gran Turismo by default, because it's been around since the dinosaurs were walking the earth. But, you know, God of War right now is the biggest IP PlayStation has, you know. And they have big ambitions for it, but it's really, they really have to put in like a lot of thought into it to make it work, you know. Not that I don't think that they're not, you know. Side note, thank you for being an OG fan and being a voice for us during these scary times of the remakes. I appreciate everything you do for the God. I appreciate it, man. Thank you for the super chat, and thank you for the kind words. Yeah, man, I've been with the series since the very beginning, you know, and I'm not a game designer, I'm not a writer, but to me, God of War has always had a special place in my heart. Like, there's something special about the Greek God of War games that no other game for me could deliver on. Like, there was a special sauce to them that not even DMC could recreate, you know. And I'm just hoping that Santa Monica understands that secret sauce that made those games so good, and they can tweak it a little bit in the remakes, but you gotta be faithful to it. You can't give me a companion AI, bro. You can't do that. That's the thing I'm gonna keep saying. No companion characters in the Greek saga. If you do that, that's gonna be an automatic disqualification. I'm just gonna say that, you know. Did you hear from Soft Refuse, like 10 studios who pitch remakes, prequels, and sequels to Bloodborne? Yeah, I heard that. I think they're the ones who want to work on it, you know. They want to get a cut of it, you know, and it makes sense. It's a shame that it's a shame that they had to sacrifice Blue Point Games for it, you know. But PlayStation kind of holds FromSoft with high regards, and I think they'll eventually work on it. It's just that FromSoft is so big right now that they're working on their own things, that they don't have time to work on the remake. It would be awesome if you get Miyazaki back and to work on a Bloodborne remake. I think that could be really well, you know, because I think an issue people had with Demon's Souls remake is that the tone wasn't there. Like, it didn't feel like a FromSoft game or something like that. It looked nice, but it didn't feel like a FromSoft game. I don't know, I haven't played it, but yeah, if they can get Miyazaki back to work on the remake, that would be great. But I feel bad for Bloodborne fans because it feels like we're never going to. At least now, it seems very unlikely that they're going to make a remake. It would be even better, in my opinion, if they do a sequel. You know, I don't know if Bloodborne is one of those games that needs a sequel, but I think the universe is big enough for them to explore more stories. I think it could work. But it's looking bleak for Bloodborne fans, because we all thought that PlayStation was working on it, but it seems like they're not. There's nothing on it, you know. Who would even be a companion in the Greek games? Well, I know when I talked with David Jaffe in my podcast, he mentioned that in the God of War 1 movie that they were working on, they were working to expand the role of the Oracle of Athens. Like, instead of just saying goodbye, Kratos, she was gonna tag along with you. And I don't want that. I don't want that. I know some of you guys are excited because you're like, oh yeah, the Oracle, am I right? Yeah, that would be a sick companion. Watch out, Kratos. That's what you're thinking. She's gonna have a shirt on. Don't even think about that. She's gonna have a shirt on, okay? And I have a feeling that she's gonna be more annoying. So, no Oracle, no Pandora. Do not give me a companion character. Do not give us a companion character. It's not going to work. I'm gonna keep saying that. That is the number one thing. That is the number one thing that they cannot do, you know? Yeah, you were mentioned in the video of Under the Mayo, revisiting how God of War was ruined in the start. Oh, I was? What did he say? Hold on. I'm not gonna watch the whole thing because I think it's kind of a long video. Under the mayonnaise. Let me see. Here it is. It's 2 hours long, bro. This video's 2 hours long. Mayo, what are you smoking, bro? 2 hours long.
7 years since the release of my first video.
Did I change the thing? I think I did, right?
How God of War was ruined. Obviously a very controversial video, but also one that served as a real catharsis for people who shared my views. They were out there, I was sure of it. That's what ultimately made me decide to go ahead with making the video after 9 months of stewing on the idea. But really, I made it for me. I had to get it all out somehow, and I said, hey, it could get 200 views or it could get 200,000 views. No one follows my channel, so whatever happens, happens. And, well, it only got 1,000 views for the entire year of 2019. And then 2020, Doom Eternal comes out, my channel blows up over the Marauder video, I shoot up 20,000 subscribers in 1 month, and suddenly people are going back and seeing what I did before. And they find this little 1 hour video shitting on the new God of War game. The views skyrocketed and soon had similar numbers to my biggest Doom Eternal videos. Out of nowhere, I became a name in the God of War discussion with a video that people started reacting to, from the most bitter, annoying weirdo brats to the more sophisticated channels like Kaptain Kuba, which actually led to a podcast together and hopefully another collaboration soon. Well, now the video has...
I created the beast, you guys. I expanded his reach, you know? I gave birth to the beast. I'm taking too much credit. He did most of it, right? But I'm guessing like my reaction to it kind of like gave the video some exposure to it. I like how he called me sophisticated. I'm not sophisticated at all, bro. He's the one who was able to articulate all of the criticisms of the Norse saga much better. Like, I knew like there were things that I didn't like about the Norse saga, but it's Mayo the one that kind of gave the proper language to them, because I don't know much about game design. I just play the games. I'm like, something's off. I like the games, but there's still some things that are off, you know? So yeah, I'm glad that Mayo kind of blew up in popularity, because I mean, with Mayo, I've kind of found a channel that whenever he recommends a game, I'm like, hey, like I said earlier, you know, it's like Mayo and I kind of tend to think on the same wavelengths. So I'm like, if he likes a game, it's a good chance that I'm gonna like it as well, you know. And another one that he recommended on his channel was the Streets of Rage 4. I had never played it, and I played it a couple months back. My God, that's such a good game. Like, if you like action games, like that's such a good beat 'em up. It's got a combo system as well. Oh man, such a good game, bro. Such a good game. You should watch. I made a remake of God of War 2 in Unreal Engine 5. He remade the entire God of War 2 intro, boss fight and cutscene included. I think I watched some of it here. We can actually show that video. Because he has what I think is going to be the camera they're going to use for the remake. Hold on. I made a remake of God of War 2 in Unreal Engine 5. Yeah, this guy, the Enzo El Rich YouTube, is that it? I think that's it, right? Oh, Devil's Party. I don't know how loud it is.
By defeating Ares,
Kratos, the once mortal warrior, became the new god of war.
however, Kratos soon found himself alone on Olympus, shunned by his fellow gods.
He's walking like an old man there.
Kratos had no need for the petty gods. He had found a new family in the warriors of Sparta,
Oh, that's nice.
gaining solace from his past and calling to battle.
My lord, Kratos! Another city is ready to fall. Soon all shall know
Theophilus needs some work there, you know.
the glory of Sparta.
I get it. This was fan made, okay? I'm not gonna be too harsh on it, you know.
Enough, Kratos! With every city you destroy, the wrath of Olympus grows. Soon I will no longer be able to protect you.
We haven't talked about Athena. Because I think Athena's beautiful, okay? Athena was one of my crushes growing up, okay? My video game crushes, so getting her on PS5 graphics. Don't ruin her, please. Don't ruin her. Don't give her different shoes. I like the sandals, for example. That's very specific. I like her clothes. She's modest, but looks really good as well. And while we're at it, don't touch Lachesis. You leave that one boob out. You leave that one boob out, okay? Do not mess with that boob, okay? You leave that one out.
I need no protection.
Do not forget that it was I who made you a god, Ghost of Sparta. Do not turn your back on me.
I owe you nothing.
Then you leave me no choice.
Kratos had turned the pain of his memories into hatred.
Keep Athena's a virgin goddess, angry mythology. That's fine. I don't have to touch. All I can do is look, and that's fine. You know, that's I'm okay with that. I'm okay.
Hatred
Free the booba.
who had refused
But in all seriousness, I do think that nudity is probably going to be taken out, or at least like minimized greatly. You know.
to free him from the nightmares of his past deeds. And so he went to Rhodes
to deliver the final blow to the besieged city. Can we get that dialogue back? Can we get that dialogue back? Listen to that again.
to Rhodes from the nightmare.
Listen to the dialogue.
Hatred for the gods who had refused to free him from the nightmares of his past deeds. And so he went to Rhodes to deliver the final blow to the besieged city.
Can we get that back? Is that too much to ask? Can we get that back? Sizzles ain't looking too hot.
Athena! You conspire against me!
Dean. Can you imagine? Like, I mean, here it doesn't look as good. Again, like this is fan made. I'm not gonna be too rough with him. I'm not criticizing him. This is impressive that he was able to do this, right? But can you guys imagine seeing that golden shine on the Colossus of Rhodes on PS5 graphics? Like, I'm willing to lick that statue how it is on PlayStation 2, okay? But man, I'll be all over that bronze statue. Just this stream is getting too weird. I'm making this stream too weird, man. Wait, you guys seem to like that face last time, so there you go. Yeah. This is what I'm talking about. Mayo calls me sophisticated. Meanwhile, like, yeah, let me lick that statue. Let me lick that statue. Kuba's gonna lick it live on stream. And what else do you want to lick on Olympus? There's a couple of things / people, I would say, you know. Yeah, see, this, I feel like, I mean, again, it looks kind of rough here, because again, this is fan-made, but I think this is what the camera is going to look like, something like this. The camera is going to look something like this in the remake, where it's like, it's not gonna be like it is in the Norse games, but it's not going to be like it is in the Greek games either, which is sad because I'm with Mayo. I love the fixed camera angle, you know, but I think this one's not that bad. If it's something like the DMC5 camera, I think it should be okay for the most part, you know. It's not better, but it's not better than the Greek ones, but it's better than the Norse ones. I think, look, I think Santa Monica is done with this type of camera, even though they're the ones who really popularized it. But I think that one of these days we could potentially get an indie game that, similar to what the people who made Expedition 33 did with, well, yeah, with Expedition 33, that they went back to the drawing board and said, how do we make a good JRPG game, you know? And a lot of the people who like the old school Final Fantasy games, like, gravitated towards that game because it was trying to recreate that feeling that those games gave them, right? One day we might have an indie developer or like a smaller developer who's going to do something similar. They're going to bring back that camera because I think it has a lot of potential. Like Mayo sent in this video, like it really frames the environment so well. Like it's so artistic, and it also helps you view all of the enemies like from a good angle. Like it's such a good camera that's super underutilized, not utilized a lot, you know. This camera made by Santa Monica would be fine. Oh, fire. Remember, this is the style of the camera they almost gave to 2018. Yeah, this is the same camera they were thinking about in 2018. And that's what I mean. It's not, I'm not going to say it's better than the Greek games, although it could be. You know, I'm open to it. But I do think it's better than the one in the Norse games, because the one in the Norse games is just too close, man. Way too close. I said this before, but Lachesis is basically gender bent Zeus. I don't need to think about things. I don't need to think about those things. Lachesis is hot, and that's where the conversation ends. There's no need to think about things that deeply. It's okay, bro. It's okay. Just admit that Lachesis is hot and move on, okay? Don't ruin his vibes. Never change, Kuba. Thanks for all the content. Thank you, man. Thank you for the super chat, and thank you for the kind words. Appreciate it, man.
Show no mercy!
Yeah, look, I think this camera could work. Shows what? Run! You see the fight with the Colossus, what it looks like. Okay, I have a question. So, because he said I remade God of War 2 with Unreal Engine. So, is this playable? Like, is he? I'm guessing he's playing this right now. It's not like the Ali Filmworks that just made like a video, right? Like, he's actually playing here, right? It's pretty impressive for it to be like a single guy who made this. It's pretty impressive, you know. Lulan is bringing back the fixed camera. So, what's the DW? Well, yeah, the Cursed Sands seems to be one of those games that's trying to emulate what made the old games special, the old God of War games special. But the camera is not exactly the same. It's more like Diablo. It's way more pulled out, you know? It doesn't have that dynamic movement. It doesn't really move with the player. It's kind of static, which is still good. It's an improvement. But it's not the same type of camera, you know? Oh, don't worry. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, for one dude. This is insane. Yeah, so yeah, this is playable, yeah.
We have him where we want him.
Who else does he have? Oh look, I made the entire boss fight, bro. Okay, alright, not gonna lie. Not gonna lie. This camera could work really well. Look at this. Like, you really get like the sense of scale just looking up at this statue. That's something you don't get with the fixed camera angle. Look at that. That's impressive. That's impressive right there. See, this is a case where he actually pulled the camera back a little bit, you know? So, yeah, in all honesty, look, I think this camera could work. It could work, and it might actually be better, you know? It might be better. At least more modern, in a way that's still faithful to the original games. Skip a little bit. If you do like this Zeus fight. Oh, I think he's just gonna skip like the yeah. It's smart. He's not gonna recreate the entire level. He's just making it a quick time event, which is cool. Again, for a fan remake, this is pretty cool. You have to watch Kratos vs. Radahn. It's a short fan animation, but it's so good. I think I saw it on my feed the other day. I didn't click on it, but I saw it. Maybe we'll watch it next week. We'll do another members hangout next week, of course. So we'll watch it then.
Placing all of his godly powers into the weapon had rendered Kratos mortal, vulnerable to the arms of death. Bloodied and beaten, he knew that to have any hope of survival, he must retrieve
the blade of Olympus. It's just the dialogue in the Greek games is unmatched, bro. It flows so nicely. It's the reason why I can remember it, because there's so much I don't know, artistry behind it. Instead of just like, can I get you a water? Like, come on, bro. Like, it just, not everything needs to sound like they're from California. Like, it's the reason why I can remember all of these cutscenes so well. Just like the dialogue is so memorable.
Humiliated before his Spartan army, Kratos dragged himself up from the dirt.
Music.
Yes, I am forced to attend to this matter myself. Athena refused to undo her mistake. Imagine caring for a creature such as yourself.
Why? Why would you betray me? It is you who would betray me. Am I to stand idly by while Olympus is threatened? Your hands are already stained by the blood of a god. Can we get this dialogue back? Can we fucking get this dialogue back? I'm not gonna get tired of saying this. I'm not going to get tired of saying this. This dialogue absolutely slaps, bro. It made God of War unique compared to any other game in the competition, man. This dialogue needs to return, man.
I will not let Ares' fate be my own.
The gods are petty and pathetic, and you...
Santa Zeus.
I grow tired of this insolence. I am the king of Olympus.
And it is my way that is the way of the gods. You must vow to forever serve me.
I serve no one. Then you'll...
That's not Zeus, that's Juice.
No choice. Submit!
I would rather die!
It did not have to be this way, my son.
All right, you guys get the point. Like, it's a good, like, fan-made project. I'm gonna give it a like. You guys do the same. How many views does it have? Okay, 200,000 views. That's pretty good. If you guys liked it, go ahead and make sure to hit like on his video, comment something, tell him Captain Kuba sent you. Revisiting God of War Ragnarok Part 10. I'm seeing, you can't see it because I'm in the way, but man, if people clicked on this thing to watch me play God of War Ragnarok, they're so disappointed, man. They're so disappointed. But I'm gonna leave it here because I got things to do now. We've been streaming for what, 3 hours? That's pretty good for it to be like a members hangout. I think it's pretty good. We talked a lot about certain things, you know. Again, I want to end it with this. It's exciting. It's exciting to be a God of War fan again. Like, we went the longest time without hearing anything, and now we're starting to see shadows. I'm like, okay, I see what Corey's cooking. I see what's going on. I see where we're going with the series, and I like it. I like it. You know, good gameplay today. Exactly, Dean. I seen your name in the Epstein files. Any comment? Oh man. Look, the only thing about being in the files is that it means that you're probably rich. Okay, that's the only thing. And I know I'm not in the files because I ain't rich. I ain't got no connections. Okay. Sometimes, I mean, I've talked with the community manager at Santa Monica Studios. That's as far as my reach go, man. Like, that's it. You know, not that I wanted to go to the island. Let me just make that clear. Okay. Let me make that clear. Not that I wanted to go to the island. I'm just saying, like, if I were on the list, it meant that I had money, you know, and connections. And I don't. So, this is a weird way to end a God of War live stream, okay? Thanks a lot. Who said that? Was it Mimir? Yeah, Mimir. Fucking Mimir, okay? What if Epstein watched your videos? Can you imagine that? I wonder sometimes, like, who is someone that is famous that watches my videos? I've wondered that before. Can you imagine? Kiva will go to the island of Lachesis or Athena. Exactly. If Lachesis and Athena are there, I'm there. Okay. All right. That's it. That's who Epstein's gonna have to hook me up with. Okay. I don't know how it's gonna work. You know. This is such a weird way. Fucking Cuba, bro. I have this bad tendency to just anything that comes into my mind, I just talk about it. Okay. Let me finish it with God of War. Okay. Yeah. The Island of Creation. Let's go. I'll go to the Island of Creation, the Island of Delos, okay? But not that island. Not that island, okay? Let me make that clear. Anyway, as I was saying before, we're going through some exciting times as a God of War community, right now. There's a lot of things that we're looking forward to. Hopefully, the rumor is that this Faye game is going to be announced later this year, sometime in the summer. I don't think it's gonna be at the Summer Game Fest. I feel like it's gonna be at a State of Play. So we're officially on watch again. Like, I'm gonna be reacting to every State of Play now, waiting for this Faye game to be announced. And it's supposedly releasing next year. So we're eating good, bro. If it turns out to be good, we're gonna be eating good, you know. And again, I'm hopeful they make another Metroidvania. I'm hopeful the remakes work out. There's so many things, man. There's so many things. But I'm gonna end it here. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys Saturday. We're gonna be playing Primal again. So if you want to hang out, then stop by. We're not gonna be talking God of War that much, but I'm gonna be playing Primal on Saturday. So right now, once I'm done here, I'm gonna try and finish that video for the members tomorrow, and then Kennery's gonna have to help me with the thumbnail, but I don't know when she's gonna get a chance to. So it might not be up tomorrow. Just letting you guys know. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys whenever. Until then, remember, go forth in the name of Olympus.